Welcome to Beyond the Box. Our guests are insiders that are now out and on our side, dropping nuclear intel and breaking it down just for you. And now it's time to introduce our hosts, Brenda Lankridge and Suzanne Haunt. Join us and subscribe for weekly shows. Beyond the Box begins now. Let's jump in.
Hello, everybody, and we are back. Tonight, I am going to be a no face. I woke up not feeling all that hot. So Susie is going to be in charge of the interview tonight with Larry. And
well, you're going to be there, but you're going to be in the black screen.
Yeah, I'll be here. So I'll probably maintain the chat and have conversations in the chat. So, that's what we'll do tonight. Oh my gosh, Susie, how's your day been?
Good. I just said in, hey everybody, good that you ate here instead of said you are here.
Wait, don't say that, Susie.
I guess we're all having dinner here tonight.
I know, right? They're gonna be. What are we cooking? We're gonna expect to eat here. What's the matter with you? It's like McDonald's. Please come again. Drive through.
Phones and typing, right?
Oh, yeah, I know.
It happens.
I don't go by that autocorrect. One time I sent a message to my daughter and it was supposed to be, I think I'm going to come over for, I'll come over for dinner tonight. And it turned out being something like, put the frog in the cake, and I don't even know what it was, but she messaged me back laughing.
Oh my God.
She was like, I do not know what you said, Mom, but whatever it was funny. And I had to go back and look at it. I'm like, that's stupid autocorrect. What is going on here?
Because sometimes I get in a hurry and I'll type it and then I think it looks right, because I wasn't like, I'll be just typing it in and I'll send it. And then after I send it, I'll go, uh-oh.
I do that all the time. You do not know how many people have sent me back a message going, what?
What did you say?
Oh my God.
Oh, Lord.
So
it's been a day. So, we worked on fence today. So I think we're going to be working. We're not going to go to the show tomorrow. We're going to just do something here and ride because we haven't had a chance to ride all week because it was cold and, so we're going to go for next week.
Yes.
So that's what we're going to do. Now, Brenda.
Yes.
We have a very interesting guest, a friend of mine, Larry.
Yeah.
So, and he has really studied about these false gods. And he really has a lot of solid, he's figured out a lot of this stuff. And he was a pastor. So, we'll get him to tell a little bit of his story when he comes in. And I think it's going to be, a good information of a lot of stuff. We're going to get a lot of detail and information from Larry.
All right.
So I'm excited.
And I want to let everybody know, too, while we're talking about this, that Steve and I are really thinking about doing a late night show. And we are going to be traveling all over the world and looking at structures and paintings and all kinds of stuff. We did an around the world thing the other night to try it out. We actually got into some of the old cathedrals and could see even the ceilings of it and the domes and all that stuff. It was amazing. So we're going to start doing that.
So much cover up in this world in there,
Yes. And we're gonna tell the difference between our currency and their currency, and what years these buildings were constructed and all that stuff. So don't miss out on that. I mean, I know sometimes it's hard for you guys if you're up too late, but you can always rewatch it later and let us know how you like it. And I want to say hello to Denise and Brent and Julie and Woo's in here. And so, guys, I'll be in the chat tonight, not so much on the screen. I'm oh gosh, I think I'm gonna try some of that stuff you got, Susie. I might have to order some of that. That's got stuff in it that I've had before, coconut oil and
okay. I've got to show this. Okay.
fruit. Yeah.
Okay. See that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then here's the box that it came in. It says I am joy, right?
Right.
Okay, so when I was researching these gods and stuff like that, I was trying to type in something and this came up and I was like, "Oh, what is that?" And I'm like, I looked at it and I thought, I got to get that, And so I ordered it and it came in today. And what it says is I am joy Oramus real 24 karat gold oil, vital minerals. So it is and so I didn't really know much about it, but it says go from deep slumber to spiritual wonder. Okay. And then it says may increase IQ.
I'll put that to the test. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if it makes you not so computer stupid anymore.
It says promotes pineal gland decalcification and dream lucid. Okay, so because what it has in it is what the ingredients is actually colloidal 24 karat gold monatomic minerals.
Yeah.
Okay, right? And then Dead Sea salt, Celtic salt, monk fruit, and coconut oil. And it tastes pretty good. I tried some a little bit ago, so I like it.
Huh. I'm gonna have to try that, and if it doesn't help
It may
me
increase
month,
it may increase your IQ. Okay.
I know if it doesn't help me within a month or two, if I don't go from the IQ of 3 to 100 in a month, well then I'm gonna call the bluff.
So you better up your dose then. Okay. You ready for a prayer?
Father, please don't make Brenda so stupid.
Here.
All right, yes, go ahead.
All right. So I just asked the Father, the Most High, to guide us, lead us, protect us, send Brenda some healing and help, and we'll just and all our guests and everything. I just pray for us to, a lot of people right now are at unease. I pray for peace and so that we can learn to really trust God, whatever the plan is, and not fear what's ahead and just trust because God is in control. And I ask in Jesus' name because I love Jesus. So there's my prayer.
Me too. I would like
All
to
right.
play chess with him. You believe it or not, I'm a little computer stupid, but I can play chess now. All right, we're gonna bring out Steve. Hi, Steve. Steve's on his mission tonight.
Yep, he's on a roll.
I'm on the hunt.
He's on the hunt. That's silly. All right, so let's go ahead and we will bring Larry out. Let me find him. He's in the queue. There he is. Oh, he's sideways.
How'd you get sideways, Brenda? What are you doing?
I didn't do it.
Just wanted to see what you guys would say right away.
Check
your reactions.
Are you laying down, Larry?
Just seeing if you're paying attention. Apparently you are.
If there's anything I can pay attention, is it?
Well, I guess we better be paying attention.
Right?
At least we're awake. Well, it's good. I'm glad you invited me on here. This is a real treat, my first podcast. And
oh, wow.
we had talked about doing this a while back. And finally, Susie decided to throw me an invite, and I'm I'm excited.
All right.
I'm
Thank you,
excited you're
Susie.
here.
Yeah, we're glad
Hey.
you're here.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
So I don't know if you wanted to read
I don't.
my bio
I
or
don't.
not. But I could kind of give you an idea of what's going on behind my
Yeah.
scenes, if you'd like.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was born in Albuquerque here in 1969, so it's been a while. Maybe not as long as some of you guys, or girls. But anyway, that's beside the point. But I grew up in a Baptist church, and I was a pretty heavy-duty Christian for about 37 years. But I can't say that anymore, and I have to correct one of the things that Susie had said, which she said I was a pastor, but I was not.
Your dad's a
I've been
pastor, right?
my
Your
dad. He
father?
was a deacon. Yeah, he was
Okay.
a deacon for a long time. So,
Okay.
but we all lived there practically. That was our kind of our second, or maybe first home at times. And so, we were pretty steeped in, biblical ideology and mainly the KJV version of it. A lot of the versions that came along later, we really had a hard time with, because anytime you make changes, there's going to be some changes,
Some
In
loss
any
of
case,
understanding.
yeah, it's bad enough with the KJV that there were a lot of things that have were omitted or changed or just misguided or even changed on purpose. So there's a lot of things
Exactly.
that I learned since my time in Christianity that I could never go back to that now. So, I kind of compare that to, say you didn't shop, say you hunted and fished for all your food, and all of a sudden, you found this grocery store along the way. Are you going to hunt and fish for your food after that? You're going to go to the grocery store. I don't
Right.
know. It's just a kind of a cheesy comparison, but there's so many other things that you can compare that to. So one of the biggest reasons for the change was the internet really brought on a lot of information to the world at large, obviously. And a lot of that information has to do with ancient writings and ancient tablets that shine a lot of light on the biblical narratives. And so that's kind of why I'm here tonight, just to kind of give you an idea of my background. I worked all my life pretty hard and heavy. While I was in school, my dad would get laid off from the railroad, and I'd be working with him in there until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, to working on cars or trucks, just so he could put food on the table until he got a job again. And of course, this was school night, so I was up till 3 or 4. Then I had to get up and go to school, come back, do it all again, off and on. And so we're pretty much a working family. And then I got a job at Intel Corporation, which was manufacturing computer chips, kind of like Texas Instruments, and I think it's Dallas or Austin, somewhere.
Austin
Dallas
has
or
all those computer places. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I did that for 22 years, and I learned a lot. Nothing applies to normal life, so I'll just leave Intel where it is there in Rio Rancho, New Mexico. So anyway, I got laid off twice out of there, and I started at the railroad. So I'm a carman there, and I'm a carman. What they do is inspect and repair rail cars, and I've been there 11 years now, and that's been a lot of fun, and I've learned a lot there too. So it's been a fun ride, but along the way, I've learned a lot too. I hate wasting my time watching TV and what have you. There's always something better to do to not only improve yourself, but to improve things around you too, and maybe better some of those around you as well. So always been a truth seeker, and that's why I'm here now in the state that I'm in now, not in New Mexico, but in the state of consciousness, I guess you'd call it, that I'm in now. And
Right.
I'm so happy to be able to share some of the things that I've learned along the way.
Well, I'm excited because I know you really have studied this stuff pretty well. So,
Mhm.
you know,
Well, does anybody have any like red hot questions that they'd like to ask before we get started? Or
well, okay, I had a question. So, I had did a show yesterday about the gods. I don't know if you saw the show yesterday, but it was about it went from gods to werewolves, okay? And it started with gods, lords, and then generals, angels, and then on down to the demons. That's how the like political, but in the spiritual realm. And when I was kind of looking into the Sumerian gods a little bit, and Marduk, okay, Marduk was the, the son of Enki. Is that right? Enki?
correct?
Okay.
Actually, yeah, that's correct.
Okay. And so Enki, and was he actually Yahweh in the biblical name? Enki Yahweh in the Bible? Because I
So
know the
Yahweh
Bible.
was actually, yeah, actually Yahweh was Marduk because uh,
Yahweh was Marduk.
Marduk Marduk was
Okay.
tried to keep his identity hidden, and the way
Oh.
he wanted the Jews to keep his name from being uttered, it was just a form of keeping himself compartmentalized at the top, to where nobody really knew who he was, where he was, and what he stood for. That was why
You
he
know,
wanted to be secret about it.
I got you because in a lot of these stories, when okay, so it was saying that Zeus was the king of the gods, and he was the false god or whatever. They're all false gods. But that he actually would put Osiris in one area, Baal in another area, Ashtaroth in another area. But the people kind of sort of rebelled against these gods, and so they kind of got run out of some areas. And is that why Marduk was trying to like go by Yahweh? Is that what your thought is, or was he was trying to keep it
Well,
secret?
so in that case, let's kind of start from the beginning in a
Okay.
kind of a condensed version. So in the beginning, and you're biblically even, as far as the creation of man goes. So you had, I don't know how much of the storyline you know of the in the Sumerian tablets or texts about the Anunnaki and
Yeah.
how they came to Earth. So this
Yeah.
was about 265,000 years ago, and they came to Earth, and they had their underlings, otherwise known as the Igigi or the Watchers, and they were based on Mars or the Moon mainly, and they watched what was going on here on the planet.
Would they be
But
the alien grays, the Iggy?
uh, they are compared with them, yeah.
Okay.
But at that time, they were a lot more genetically sound, and they were actually used because the Anunnaki, their world, Nibiru, had lost their atmosphere. And there's some people that know a lot about the story, but there are many others that don't, that should. And in any case, they had to pretty much destroy their planet's atmosphere through the use of nuclear weapons. And so, what they needed
That's what they
to
said
shield
happened in Mars, right? There was a war on
yes,
Mars, and they
that's
blew it
correct.
up. Yeah. Okay, and then they came here. Yeah, because
Yep.
they
And then
destroyed their own planet. Yeah.
that's true. And so, yeah, so they needed gold. They needed atomized gold in order to throw it up on the outside of their atmosphere in order to make a shield to not only keep the harmful cosmic rays out, but to also, keep their environment from dissipating, or their
So
atmosphere from dissipating.
kind of like ozone or something. They destroyed their ozone with the nuclear. And that's what they say was
Yeah.
Sodom and Gomorrah was. Sodom and Gomorrah was them dropping, nuclear yeah,
Yes, that's true.
yeah.
Whenever you have sand become glass like that, that's about the only explanation that can be found.
And I think
But in
that's
any
what
case,
happened. in the United States in the West where nothing grows in the desert. I think there was wars where they were dropping, and that's maybe why Area 51, where they shot down the UFOs, because they were coming because they saw them testing UFOs out in that area again. Because
Yeah.
that
Well,
land
so
is pretty desolate. Go ahead.
there's another explanation for the deserts as well, and that is through the use of what they call FASH weapons. So these FASH weapons were designed to kind of like, how when you go to shake a rug out and you bring it up and over and you make that big wave and it knocks the dirt out? Well, that's what a FASH weapon did on the surface of the planet. And that's why there's little to no vegetation in those desert areas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
But in
it's,
any case,
like
yeah.
burned
So
up.
yeah, well, it just uprooted everything, and that's one of the reasons why there just hasn't been any vegetation growing there. So there's a lot of other environmental conditions that help that along as well, but that was the main source of it. If you look at the northern part of Africa, that was a huge area where a FASH weapon was used. There were a lot of wars
Oh.
on this planet too, not just Mars. But these gods that you're talking about, they were fighting other races. It was Star Wars all over this area.
Makes
As a matter of
sense.
fact,
Yeah.
Star Wars was actually a storyline that was found in that happened way back in the past in the Orion constellation.
Okay.
Hmm.
And
But
they said that
so
Michael Aquino, who was the head of, the set the Church of Satan or whatever, he was obsessed with Star Wars.
mhm. Yeah, there were a lot of well, when you look at the Empire and all its control elements, and just that greed or lust for power and control, I can see why, and I think that's why a lot of the people who were in the dark, I call it the dark state, but deep staters, they signed on to that type of a thing too. But that's what the dark does, it's lust for control and power, or just knows no ends. But anyway, so we'll go back to these the Agigi. So what they were also used for were as slaves. They were like paid workers, but over many thousands of years, they began to, get very restless and tire of mining this gold, especially down in South Africa. There were mines down there that they found that are, hundreds of thousands of years old and never been able to explain it until these Sumerian texts came out and explained it all.
Wow.
Hmm.
It's like
And
they're
so
finding all that
these,
stuff in the Grand Canyon and, underneath, buried cities and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
oh yeah, and so the Agigi they began to rebel, and it was like, well, the regular Anunnaki beings that were over the Agigi, they didn't want to work like dogs to mine this gold either. So they had a wild idea to use the existing hominids at that time on the planet, which were Homo erectus and Homo. I can't remember the other one off the top of my head, but mainly two different. The Neanderthal. They used those two hominids and combined their genetics and they experimented heavily for a long time to get the human correct. And they weren't supposed to do that. That violated a universal law that was agreed upon by all races in the universe, apparently. And so they said, well, since you created this new race illegally or unlawfully, now you're going to have to help bring it about so that it can survive on its own. And this is the reason why you hear of these gods that have taught so many different aspects of human life, like mathematics, agriculture, uh, uh, metallurgies, you name it, sciences, biology, all of it. and they came and taught all those things to the people based on that agreement. So, as bad as we may think that the Anunnaki were, they kind of raised us as humans on this earth. Matter of fact,
Well, they have
we weren't actually.
Yeah, their technology is so advanced way back then. And that's what people don't realize a lot. That's why they're so far advanced today. Now the government came out and said, yes, there are UFOs, there are aliens, there's things that we don't know, but their
Mhm.
technology has always been way ahead for a long time,
Which is why the existing the early humans, they referred to them as gods, is because they knew way more than humans did, and they knew they had more knowledge than the humans could possibly accumulate for themselves, even though we were made in
Makes
their
sense.
image.
Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
sense, yeah.
So
I
one
think
of
we
the things
were
that
made in the image of the true Most High. A lot of these, from what my research has done, a lot of these beings were, the original false god was a serpent, that had a lion face head with lightning in his eyes, and so when he mixed with the human, apparently that's where what we were talking about last night was Benjamin. Benjamin, it said, was a ravenous wolf, would devour his prey in the morning and then divide it at night. And according to the rabbi Torah and all, their actual words said it was literal, not figuratively speaking, that he was actually a werewolf, that he was, and so these children that like when the Anunnakis, they say when they were mixing with the human, they like Cain and Abel, they were hybrids. Like it said, Cain and Abel, one had a lion face, one had a bear face, and then this is why Benjamin, some of the Benjamite, they were werewolves. And so they wouldn't know it as children until they were about a year old, and they'd get the teeth. And so then if they changed, they said that they were having to give them some type. The father had to give them something to keep them from changing, like shape shifting into this werewolf. But if they did go into the werewolf, they actually had to eat a human to become human again. Okay. And so, and then every full moon, this whole story about the full moon, they would have to go out and kill after they switched. So, these things were like half animal, half human. It came through in this bloodline, not all of them were, but, I mean, Jacob had like 12 kids, and then one of them was supposedly a reptilian snake. And I think that's where the reptilian, because it said on the sixth day, God created, and that's what these authorities created Adam, in the garden, it's kind of like the Igigi, and so we have, and I think that's when you think, I think about Hollywood and these people, they say, hey, we have to use this term on YouTube just because, it's a term. So when we talk about, certain bodily parts, we always call it red soup, and that's what they say, the story about when Isaac was, or was it Jacob and Esau. Jacob was cooking a red stew. It was really because that's why he had to drink the red stew, okay, so that he could stay human, okay. So that's what we call it, red soup. But you see in Hollywood, they're saying that these people are actually having to do the same thing to stay human, and so we have all these children that come up missing. We have all these missing people, and so I got to thinking about this. I'm like, okay, so people are looking for the wolf man and wolf this, and living in the woods, but that's not where they live. They live in houses like in California, and they're regular people, and then they switch into that werewolf, and they have to have that red soup to go back to be human again. So they're not hiding in the woods. They're living in nice houses, and you would never know that they're werewolves.
Yep.
Unless
Same thing with vampires and
because they become vampires because that's actually what they are. They're a werewolf that has to become a vampire in order to be human.
right.
So my question is, do they just stay alive? How do they live, like hundreds of years, or what are they? What is? I'm like, there's so much to learn about this. The world that we live in. It's so crazy.
Yep.
You agree?
Yeah. As far as I know, there's one person that is still on this planet that is about 1,500 years old.
I've heard that.
Yeah, and it may very well
I
be
have
that this
yes,
person
I have a
is
friend
of that
named
sort.
I have a friend named Robert, and he worked. He did sonar for tracking subs and stuff. He was in the CIA, and he was taken to the Vatican. He was taken to these different places. He went to these elite parties where they were reptilians in there partying with the people, with the high level Rothschilds and stuff, right? And he met a guy over in London, I think it was, and the guy took him. This guy was like that 1,500 years old or something, and took him downtown London and said, you see all these buildings over here? And he's like, yeah. He goes, there's actually whole cities underneath there. Okay. And he was going and say this is all a facade, a lot of this over there around the queens. Yeah. And this guy was supposedly like 1,500 years old or something, like what the heck.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, there's
you've heard about
underground
this
cities
person?
everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, and so when the Anunnaki came to this earth, there wasn't just one type. There were many different types of Anunnaki. All the Anunnaki means is from heaven to earth came. So
Right.
there's a lot of variation, and so this mixing of the genetics, you could see where it led to. You've got reptilian forms. You've got and they've been able to hide themselves very well. Werewolf forms, you name it. There's all kinds of
Yeah,
stuff out.
because
Any
they've
of
got
the stuff
those.
that you see on
They got those spaceships, Larry. The technology to fly up there and go over here and go where they want to go. I mean, they come and
well,
go
we
as
do
they
too now.
please. Well, we're
So
kind of getting there.
secret space program. No.
Yeah.
Secret space
Well, that's true.
program.
That's true.
They're
That's
300
true.
years ahead of regular humans. Yeah, they've got the technology all worked out now to where they can do what the spaceships do. They just don't cloak as easily as higher advanced civilizations ships do. And they've been
Right.
here all
That's
along
true.
too. Yep.
But they don't tell us little people, us little hobbits, right?
Well, we were never supposed to know.
Right.
And so that's one thing about the internet is that it got out of hand. It got out of their control, and people began to learn too much. And by that time, it was too late. So many of the leading upper echelon people, well above government levels, they left a long time ago because they saw the writing on the wall. It was too late. And so here we are. And we're on the verge of this. We're actually entering into the age of Aquarius now, where the age of Pisces is gone. And the age of Pisces is all about deceitfulness and lies and darkness. And that was mainly what the end of the age of Pisces was. Well, or in the middle of it too was religion. That's what the age of Pisces was all about. But the thing with religion was that it was controlled by and created by mainly these Anunnaki beings.
Yeah.
And so they taught different people different things all over the world. And that's why you have Buddhists in one section and a different type of colored people in different parts of the world, because they also have different religions as well. And it's all because of these Anunnaki gods that were spread out all over the world to teach people different things.
But ultimately, they all
So-
want to be worshiping the Catholic God. The Vatican wants to, be in control of it all.
The Vatican, before it was the Vatican, it was the Holy Roman Empire, right?
Yeah.
So they had control over most of the civilized world, at least what was
Yeah.
civilized to them. And so, in order for them to be able to keep what they had, as well as to increase their holdings, they needed to go from brute force to, say, a religion. And what did they do? They used Mithraism, they used paganism, and they used Judaism and a bunch of different other elements in order to appease a lot of different types of people in order for this spread to be a lot quicker than it otherwise would have been. And so even today, at least 5, 10 years ago, up to 5 or 10 years ago, every leader of this country, of this world, had to go, any major decisions had to go through the papacy. And by the way, there were 3 popes. Most people know of only 2. So
That's true.
there was the white pope, which everybody knew about. There was the black pope, who was the general of the Jesuits, which the Jesuits are a order of assassins, especially
That's
at
true.
the top end. And then you had the gray pope. The gray pope was he was the ultimate head of all decision making, even for the papacy. He
that's
was
what I've heard.
probably closer to Marduk than many humans on this planet, even though he was probably 9, 10 steps removed.
Now these gods were actually, people living here, and so what is your take on who Marduk was in the flesh?
Marduk. So here's part of the history where, and then Marduk will get introduced into it. So when the flood came, they Enlil didn't like the humans, and he was excessively pissed off at Enki because Enki had given us genetic traits that actually made us even more powerful than the Anunnaki. And so that's why we have been suppressed and squelched for as long and as heavy as we have been. And eventually they wanted us completely destroyed. But so part of the flood was created intentionally. And it was one of the resets, but they wanted to get rid of mankind. But Enki, his son, or it was a grandson. It was Noah, but they call him by a couple other different names. And if you have ever read the
you said Noah was, or Enki was the father of Noah, right?
Well, Marduk. So Noah was one of Marduk's sons.
Marduk, okay, because it said when Noah was born, he was glowing, and his father was away that year for like a year at war, so his wife was pregnant with this child, Noah. So there's no way, he said, it could have been his child. He couldn't have been the father of it. So those were some of the Hebrew. When you go back to the legends of the Hebrews,
that may very well be the case. I haven't studied that part of it too much, but after before the flood started, that's when Anu, who was the king of the Anunnaki, who was also the Lord of hosts and the Lord of the Old Testament,
which was,
and Lil.
And you know what, Larry, when you say the word Lord, it's like saying, like, that's one of the things I read. It was a 5-hour deal, but it was called the Book of the War of the Lords. Okay, and the Bible talks about that, and in it, it kind of covers what it explains is that Jehovah was one of the original gods that was put into place, and then he was pretty much trying to be a good god most of the time, but he did mess up, he said. And then what happened was, Zeus was Satan came to Zeus and said, hey, do this, do this, do this. So he took the throne over Mount Horeb, over like all the, heavens and the earth. And then he put all these other gods over different regions. And then he had armies under those to control the people. And so the way it was described is that if it's the word God, technically it's not God. Okay. A god is like a president. And so he was the king of the gods, meaning he was the top at the throne. And then he had many gods. And that's why in Psalms 32, it says, God sits in the council of the gods and judges amongst the gods. So he had all these gods, and then he had what they called Lord gods, where that was the title Lord God. That meant they were a rank underneath the gods. And then you had lords, which was a rank underneath Lord God title. And then you had generals, and then you had angels, and then you have, I think it was called divas, which is like demons, legions of demons, if to keep the people in line and torment them if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yep. Well, just like I was mentioning, so many of these Anunnaki go into different parts of the world. The heads of these Anunnaki, there was like 70 or 72 of them back at a certain time in history. And Anu happened to be the Lord of Lords. He was the or
so
king
he was like the
kings,
head
or
of
so
the
to
Lord
speak.
gods. He was probably the top.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think
He
in that
also
book
happened to
it gave
be,
his name as Anuhis or something, and he was rated pretty high with Osiris. Yeah.
yes. And so he happened to be he had his chosen people, which were the Jews, right? And those were
Right.
his chosen people, but they also chose him, see? And so it was just a term of endearment to get those people to do his bidding.
Yeah.
And so all he did was control those people to work against the other gods. So they were just playing war with those people. It didn't really matter how many people died, but they were vying for natural resources in order to, be the big guy on the planet. That's that egotistical mind that they had and probably still do. And that's
Right.
where Marduk comes in. So after the flood, Enlil and Anu left, and before the flood started, because they knew that they wanted to see the deluge from off planet. Obviously, that'd be a real safe place. And so, because Marduk was a joker, that's what he was known as. He was kind of like a jester, court jester type thing, but in a lot of cases maliciously. And so they banished him to this earth. And so he became the highest ranking god on this earth after that. See? So he was actually called the guardian of this planet for hundreds of thousands of years. And so they were able to, their technology included being able to transfer
So
the
you say he's the
consciousness
same as
from
Yahweh,
one being to
Marduk and
another.
Yahweh. Marduk and Yahweh would be in the same.
Well, they're kind of interchangeable, but Yahweh or Jehovah was more of a Enlil.
Okay. Yeah, Jehovah tried to be good. Yeah.
Yeah. And so Enlil, see, he's known more as the bull. And so he was in power
Well,
over the
that's
people
the
back when.
Zeus. Zeus is the sign. He's the sign of the Taurus with the horns. And if you go back into history and you look at Moses, Moses had horns coming out of his head. Pan had horns. In the book of Judas, it says, hey, Jesus says to Judas, your horn is now rising. I see your horn rising. So the goat thing, and you see all the people making the goat signs. That's a Zeus. Zeus had horns also. So they were like goat people.
Right. Yeah. So you're talking about the age of Capricorn.
Yeah.
That's what that symbolizes. So when you're in that age, that means that the person that's associated, or that god that is associated with that age, has certain attributes or abilities that coincide with that age. And so that's why, like, say, religion, going from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius, it's really struggling to keep its power. It's waning. as we speak.
Now,
And
Larry,
that's,
I have a question. Okay, my question is this. I was just thinking about this. You remember when the children of Israel were in there and they were worshiping the golden calf with the horns, which would represent
Mhm.
Zeus, right? The Taurus. Well, and then when Moses comes down, he gets mad at him, but he puts a serpent on there and wants him to worship a serpent. So, that represents another line, or they're going to like switch from, because when they came out of Egypt, I guess they were serving Zeus, but now they're with Moses. So now Moses has got a new god that he met with up on this mountain, and it's something to do with the serpent. And I think the tribe of Dan, it says, is the serpent seed. Okay, and the tribe of Dan, it said he will be a serpent in a way and be an adder, but he will judge his people. And they say it's the reptilians that run this planet. So I believe that tribe of Dan, and it's probably who the high elite wealthy people are of that bloodline of the Dan. You know what I mean? They're the reptilian, prophecy in the Bible, right?
blood aspect of the bloodlines, yeah, right.
And
So
that's the
another
Zionist. That would be the Zionist who bought Israel, right? With the Rothschilds. They're the tribe of Dan. Yeah.
That's right. So yeah, so in the physical aspect of the tribe of Dan, when you talk about them being as a serpent, they also migrated across from the Caucasus Mountains through Eastern Europe and up through Central Europe and then to Northern Europe. And that's where the Danube River came from. That's where the Danish people came from, Denmark,
Yeah.
Those types of people. So,
In Denmark.
definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
Soros
you're talking
and
about
yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about a lot of old negative blood type people there.
Very
For sure.
powerful bloodline. Yeah, very powerful line. Family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, in any case, let's see, where was I at before? Yeah, so those lords would war against each other back then. And then, what was it? The snake. So, there's a lot of connections being drawn now between the serpent in the garden and the snake that Moses brought on there, and a lot of references to the snake. Even the I forget the terminology for the medical staff that has the two serpents on it.
Yeah.
That is so. All that is in reference
representing
to
that
Enki.
bloodline. Yeah, that's Enki's bloodline.
So Enki. Well, so because he was the master geneticist, he was the master scientist, and he was the one that did all the genetic, most of the genetic work for humankind. And so that's where those two snakes come into play. They were the two DNA strands that, was created. We actually had a lot more than that when we were first created. We were much more powerful as beings back then. We've been degraded about 6 times, and in most cases now 7 times because.
Well, one thing
COVID
we
shot.
can't do. Well, because we're on YouTube, we can't talk about certain, things that do, like,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
the Jabberoonie.
Yeah. So I think, we see that happening today. They're messing with the DNA of a lot of people on this planet,
Yeah. And that was mainly just to keep us suppressed so that we wouldn't be a threat to those Anunnaki or reptilians or whoever.
These gods, false gods that are running the planet. Yeah.
So when you look at in like the Book of Kings and then a lot of other Old Testament books that talk about the lineages of these kings and how long they lived and all this stuff. Well, back then, their genetics, they were all what you call like demigods, or kind of like how Methuselah and all those people lived 900 years, 800 years, and all that stuff. It was because their genetics were still in play big time. They weren't degraded as badly, and even who was it in the Bible that talked about needing to bring the life span of the people down to 120 years.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's that's the God of. It's not the God that we have been
Not a good
worshiping for
God.
so long
Not a
as
good God.
humans.
Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm doing my best, to kind of shine that type of a light, because religion really is very indoctrinative. And I was there. I did that. I was a heavy into it for 37 years. And man, talk about the way, the truth, and the life, buddy. I was there. But a lot of the
Now I'm
terminology
curious,
in that
Larry.
is,
I am very curious. What was the turning point, and what happened in your life that you saw what you saw, and what was it that made you start looking in a different direction for answers?
just being a seeker of the truth, always looking for that man behind the curtain, like the Wizard of Oz, why are things like they are? Why do we, when I was growing up, the Cold War was a big deal, right? I was at the tail end of, having them teachers have us go under the desk, when it was DEFCON 1 or whatever it was, to supposedly shield ourselves from this nuclear blast or radiation from the Soviet Union. It was a mess. And, I've always, since then, just been a seeker of the truth. Why do things have to be that way? And why were things that way to begin with? Why do they have to continue to be that way? Do we have any ability to determine our own destiny as human beings? We're a loving people. We wouldn't want that done to each other. Who's doing this to us? So all these questions, and over time, especially with the internet, it's just incredible what a person could learn if they would just peek under the covers or look behind the curtain just every time they get the chance. It'd go a long ways.
Right.
And
So was
because
there
I've done that
something
so
real
much, man,
defining that you remember that shocked you?
It was the uncovering of the Sumerian texts. Well, and not only that, it was prior to that was the Zachary Sitchin and the 12th Planet. That was a book I read a long time ago, and that really began to open my eyes about what was going on off planet and why our planet was being affected and how it had been affected in the past. And that kind of opened up my eyes to. It was kind of a segue into, now you have the Sumerian texts, which Zachariah Sitchin talked about. Tablets, they were found at the same time that the Dead Sea Scrolls were. But the problem with the tablets was that they didn't have anybody to translate them. There was one person on this planet that knew, and it took a long time to find that person. And once they got him there was so many tablets and so many texts that he was like, "There's no way I can translate all this. I'll have to train some people to help speed this along." And so it took decades. And that's why we're just starting to hear about all this stuff over the last few decades now. And when you combine the Sumerian texts and the storyline that applies to the Old Testament, that Sumerian texts plugs in all the huge time gaps in the Old Testament. And it also explains in detail so much more of the Old Testament that you can't even look at the Old Testament the same way ever again. Now you know,
Larry,
once you combine those.
What I was going to say is, when you were talking about that, how they found all that stuff in the book of the War of the Lords, Zeus orders all his gods, Lord gods, generals, legions, angels, to go out and gather up all this written stuff, evidence, books, everything, and destroy it, so that the people that are there will not know the things of the past, and everything was supposed to be gathered up, destroyed, and so that everything was, so we wouldn't know these things.
I agree with you entirely, and unfortunately, they didn't get it all. And what's left, was probably preserved by people who had beings who thought that, maybe we needed to know sometime down the line. If And
Yeah, people
so here
knew
we
that it was
are.
getting changed and history was being covered up, and
I
you know,
think
Big
that's
time,
one of
yeah.
the reasons. I think that's one of the reasons why they're saying now that they don't think history is going to end up repeating itself again, because now there are so many people that know this stuff that are finding it out, and it's going to be too many to be able to cover it up this time. So
I couldn't agree with you more.
yeah,
And
good.
the quicker we get to the knowledge base that we need to get to, and the growing up, the maturing of knowledge within us all, the quicker we can move on to that golden age, or that age of Aquarius, where we live in peace, and we're not here just to survive, but to thrive.
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so hopefully they can get in there and get this stuff done quick, fast, and in a hurry. But I foresee that there's going to be a lot of problems again this time, because they're already tying people up in court over this and that, and talking impeachment and everything else. So, I mean, it's one thing after another.
It's a battle, Brenda. It is. We're fighting a battle
Yes.
uphill.
Yep.
Well, it's so you figure there's just hundreds of thousands of years of effort into hiding all this information, as well as the control, the suppression, the compartmentalization of information. It's just, there's a lot to unwind, and that's what's going on now. It's unwinding, and I think personally, we're at closer to the tail end of the unwinding right now than most people think, because so I talked about the 12 layers of beings that were in control of this planet above the highest levels of government. Well, those have all been pretty much removed now. Yeah. The only ones that are really causing us problems now are the Trump operatives in conjunction with the SSP and CIA operators in all countries.
Yeah,
so
that's kind of like
that's all
when you say
back.
CIA. Yeah. That's like using the example of the Jesuits.
I still think we have a little bit. I still think we have a little bit of the lizard problem. So.
Oh, a lot, yeah.
Those little suckers need to go somewhere. They need to put me out in front and go hunting for them, because I'll be able to tell them whether they're there or not, because I can smell them. So. Well,
they're definitely in. Whatever's left of them right now, they have to be in hiding, because there is so much cosmic energy and solar and source energy coming into this planet right now that they can't hide anymore. They used to be able to cloak up and look like a human being, but then
now, Larry,
everybody started seeing.
Yep.
You probably don't know. Well, this is just a little let you know. Brenda, when she was a child, her adopted father worked at Area 51, so she was taken down there, and she saw reptilians down there, and so she can smell them now because she knows that smell.
I can smell them when they're in human form. I can smell them.
Yeah.
Yeah. All they got to do is walk anywhere close to me, and I can sniff them out. But they know. It's so weird. They know when I know that they're not human. Just by looking. I'll look at them and I'm like, oh yeah, you stink.
So they are way more perceptive than we are in many ways. So yes, yeah, that doesn't surprise me a bit. So we had a lot of that type of activity here in New Mexico with Dulce. This northern New Mexico up into southern Colorado. We have some of the most tunneling and dumb bases that have been tunneled between each other probably anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And one of the main reasons for that is because the Durango Silverton area that is known as in the world is one of the 7 super sites. And what I mean by a super site is they have a large amount of valuable natural resources. So silver, gold, uranium, whatever it might be, right?
Now, somebody
so that was one of the reasons why they.
Somebody asked what they smell like. Somebody asked me what they smell like. Okay. It's sulfur, like real bad, rotten eggs, sulfur, and probably like standing in 100-degree weather on top of a garbage dump smell.
Ugh.
It's horrible. You know, what
Rotten
I did,
food, huh?
right, what I did for a living, I know what death smells like. That's a smell. Once you smell it once, it never goes away. Well, this is an entirely different smell, and I even think that it's worse than smelling death. Honestly, if I get real close to them, it smells so bad it can make my eyes water.
You know, I
So,
think they're like the wolves, Brenda. They have to have that Campbell soup, that red Campbell soup, in order to stay
well,
human.
yes, of course they
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
But you know what? Wolves smell like wet dog. These things don't compare to those things at all.
yeah.
At all. So yeah, they're bad.
Well, there's a lot of those reptilians in human form that you probably remember the horrific clip with Hillary and her aide Huma Abedin,
Yeah.
Yeah.
where they had that little girl that they were doing horrible things with
Yep.
Yeah.
and getting the adrenochrome. Yeah, and that was a
I think that's a
person who
word
was
we can't
performing that.
use. I think that's a word that we can't use, so we say
Oh,
red soup.
okay, bad word,
Yeah.
bad word. Okay, yeah, strike that out. Any case, they that was a reptilian priest that was performing that, and that's how they live as long as they do. But they need that too in order to uh, continue their life. But they also feed that to humans who are interested in that stuff to keep them, kind of like addicted to it too. Because once you have been using that stuff for a while, it's like you can't produce your own adrenaline anymore. So you have to continue to get it. And so that helps the
Oh.
reptilians continue to get what they need. See,
Now, Wu just
it's
said one of our guests, Larry, a girl or it's a girl or a guy. It's a girl's
Who's the
face.
guy?
Wu. Well, it's a girl's face, right, on the picture. So, well, said that the grays smell too.
yeah.
So
I'm sure we all have our wonderful sense, but they complain about us, being real smelly too. Really. So
Yeah, because
yeah,
to them we smell weird too. So I can imagine. I know when I was younger it was so funny because when I smelled them, I wasn't worried about what they looked like when I seen them. My biggest question was why do they smell so bad? But I was like 5, 6 years old. So, I was one of those kids that was brought up playing hide and go seek in the dark. So we wouldn't be afraid of the dark. So it takes an awful lot to spook me. So it's like my biggest thing was why do they smell so bad? And then I was told, well, because they live
Right.
underground. And my next question was, they don't have baths, showers underground. Can we take them home and give them a bath? Because they smell really bad. So, coming from a kid, I imagine they
Right.
probably chuckled at me. I'm pretty sure they did, but still,
That's funny.
that's what I was concerned about. Why do they smell so bad?
Do
Hey,
they not take baths? They need to go jump in the lake or something.
what do they say? Straight out of the mouth of babes.
Right.
So we just speak it. There it is. But yeah, it's horrible. But yeah, I will be so
That's
glad once we can
that's
get things on track. And
hey Brenda,
yeah,
when you're talking about that they smell so bad, and then I had read in that book of the Lords about one of the things that Zeus does when he gets mad at people is they spray um uh what was it they spray, let me see if I can find it.
Julie says the axe will cover it up. That's
yeah.
like spraying perfume on a turd. It can still override it. But I like axe, but I think that
It says that they
probably
okay.
still be able to tell the difference.
Okay, wait. That's not it. Okay, hang on.
I think even better
Okay,
than
it
axe
says
would
that
be
they
the
It says, in the air shall they carry the virus that when you breathe it, if you do not bow down to this Roman Dios god, right? So they'll spray, and what did the last 2020 virus do? Is mess up the smell, so people couldn't smell. So that was a very planned attack. My saying.
Well, what
Yeah.
what was it you were saying, Larry? What would work different? I said Old Spice. I think Old Spice is what can take out cockroaches. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that may work very well, but in my opinion, because I work at the railroad, I'm in those locomotives a lot, and they have a toilet in there that can use some serious help now and then.
Yeah.
And they put some liquid in there. I don't know what they put in it, but that's what needs to be sprayed.
Yeah.
To keep it smelling fresh, buddy. Yeah.
I think that stuff is pink. It's an industrial cleaner that they used to use like in the hotels and stuff. And it's like pink.
Yes.
And yeah, that can knock out some pretty good smell, but I don't think Febreze will do it either.
Brenda, that was really good that you were able to smell that at such a young age, because a lot of times your mind is so impressionable, and I'm sure it left one heck of an impression that you will never forget.
Yeah. Well,
unfortunately, yeah.
I had a really bad experience when I was real young, so it kind of opened my mind to a lot of things. I went through some trauma involving George H.W. Bush, and so when that happened, it just made me see things from a different light. Plus, I see spirits, and I have all of my life, so it's like I've grown up different. I used to sit, my mom had me convinced that I was a weirdo when I was a kid. Okay. That I shouldn't talk to people, and stop telling her there was people there that she couldn't see because people were going to lock me up in a nut home. And I did this from a very, 5 and 6 year old kids. And I try to tell people, when your child is telling you that they have an imaginary friend, don't sit there and, tell them no, they don't, because you're going to close that part of their mind, that third eye that is open, that is a God-given gift. You're shutting them down. Don't do it. So,
I think that's why we all need a little bit of this stuff right here, because it's supposedly going to decalcify that.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I'm going to go and order some of that. So, yeah. Yep, I definitely am going to do that.
Yep.
That sounds like or looked like an advanced form of some stuff I got quite a while back. It was Ormus monoatomic gold.
Yeah,
and this
that's
was
what that
about 8
is.
or 9 years ago. I have a tube of it, and it's like in like white pellet form.
Wow.
And that's what monoatomic gold is. It's your regular gold is actually a dual atomic form, which is 2 atoms of or AU atoms combined, whereas monoatomic gold is only 1 AU atom, and it's white in color.
Huh.
And it has certain properties that help, like you said, it makes you smarter. So your nervous system, your brain power, all kinds of things get amped up with it. But I've also heard that, and I don't know if this was something that was to deter the use of it or not, but over time they were saying that it could potentially produce some genetic damage. Now, take that however you want, but that was why I kind of stopped using it. But I don't know if that was something to keep people from using it or not.
Right? Or I would think that there would, when I was looking it up a little bit, it was saying a lot of people used it in the treatment of cancer, and if you have pain in your body and stuff, it helps with reducing pain and stuff. So it really sounds like it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, it may be something you want to cycle. You might want to go on it for a couple weeks and then get off of a couple weeks, something like that.
And see how it works. Yeah, how your body likes it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm all for
yeah.
increasing my IQ and.
Hey,
any help
like
we can
I
get, the
said,
better.
I'm gonna try it. If it makes me not so computer stupid, well then I will promote that every day, and they don't even have to pay me. It'll work out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Need all the help we can get.
But
But
yeah,
yeah, so I wanted to mention the snake thing again. Go back to that a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was talking about how, like, not only was it Inky, but he was also coming back in the form of, because he was always there wanted to help humanity, and he was also of the sea, and so I think he came back in the form of serpents, and that's who the serpent was in the garden, was
Yeah,
Inky.
that's what they said.
And I actually think later on he actually came back in the form of Yeshua. So those correlations, and you talk about the snakes that Moses had thrown out there, that's all part of it too. And I think it was all just to kind of bring the truth or the light to the whole situation, because in the garden, the ones that were controlling the garden were Enlil and Anu and people like that. And that's why the early man got kicked out of the garden, was because, they were shown the truth by his younger brother, Iki. But Enlil didn't know that at the time.
Well, the
So
story,
that's what.
Larry, of the Norse mythology where Loki is actually like Lucifer, and Loki could play the good guy, but he was really the bad guy. And that's kind of what,
Mhm.
These are really not trustworthy. They're known as tricksters. They're not trustworthy, but they can play your best friend. Hey, I'm here to help you. He would fight alongside with Odin sometimes, and
Oh, yeah.
always kind of be in their back pocket. But he ultimately was evil, but could pretend to be your friend.
And that's exactly the way Marduk was. Marduk was
Yeah.
very, what you call, good with words, very charismatic. And he would manipulate practically anybody he came across. You figure somebody who's been alive that long, like he was, he probably learned the art of manipulation pretty well, and did, and
Yeah.
strategize. He was also known as Sun Tzu. He wrote the what was that? The book of the Art of War. That was Marduk that wrote that, but
Well, think
he
about
came in another
this.
form. And
Here's
Sun
a
Tzu.
couple. Here's a couple food for thought. Okay. What does okay, so if you ever heard the story of who's I'm trying to think of her name. What was the Jessie Zabotar? Okay, her story was that she was raised up in a satanic family. She was trained to infiltrate the Christian churches, to be like a Christian and to infiltrate it, but she was really serving the dark side. Okay, so and then what is that theology that they have is, or we're going to be your best friend, and but in reality they're there for nefarious reasons. And I didn't get to share this with you, Larry. I don't even know if you knew this, but when Penny was living with me for 6.5 years, turns out she was a Luciferian the whole time. Okay, and it was in her journals and stuff, and she got caught in a lie and she fled out of here like a bat out of hell. Okay.
Yeah, I kind of wondered what happened there. Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. I didn't even say nothing to her. She just like packed up and flew out of here. 6.5 years. So
Yeah.
what I'm saying is these particular demons that are in these people that are running these people, like a Lucifer Loki spirit, they come in as your best friend, your family. Oh my God, I love you. They love bomb you. Oh, I love you. You're just so wonderful. And Susie, you're my sister. And and oh my God, I will do anything for you for the rest of my life. And it's all about just it's almost a sickening type of love bombing you. And you think,
Yeah.
oh, they really got my back. They really care about me. They're really my friend, but it's all planned and orchestrated. Meanwhile, they're writing in their journal how they love Satan and Lucifer and, they love the New World Order and shit like that, But in your face, they're like, I'm your friend. I'm here for you. How can I help you? And so, that is pretty much the trick of Loki. He moved in with Odin and his family. Oh, let me be your son, and and I'll help you fight this and that. And then he was like, went behind his back and murdered his son Balder. And I'm like, what the hell. So, I mean, they get in and they make out like they're there to support you, but all along they're planning your demise. Right?
I think that philosophy is called backstabbing. Like a ultimate form of it,
Yeah.
But
because you don't see it head
I'm sorry
on.
to hear that.
Yeah, you don't see it head on, right? You don't see, you don't see these, beings head on, like these gods and these, they come out and they're like, oh, I'm your God. I'm here to help you. But these are evil gods, and ultimately they're there to flood you with a flood or take you out or hit you with a virus or, something, you know what I'm saying?
I have a question, guys.
Well,
I have a question. Sam, we missed our break time. Are you guys okay to go for the next 45 minutes, or do you want to take a break?
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Okay. All right, then there it is. No break tonight.
No break.
Having too much fun.
Right?
Who needs a break from fun?
True.
We're on a roll here.
But yeah, so
oh my
one of the things
That's
I've
her little
learned along
doggy
the way,
Putin.
Susie.
Yeah.
Oh, cool, Putin, nice man. All right. Does he ride a white horse without a shirt?
Well, he actually came from Russia. He was born in Russia. Her little puppy was from Russia.
Oh, okay.
I actually have a picture of
that's
Putin
cool.
without a shirt with my dog's face on it. So yeah, it's kind of fun. I do have that picture.
That's awesome, man. That's so cool. Yeah. So a lot of those gods, you're talking about Odin, and Zeus. They're all like different areas as rendition of the original gods, which were Anu, Enlil, and Iki, and all them. So when you say, when you're talking about
it was
Zeus
like an
or
old
whatever,
president and then a new president and then
exactly.
like Odin was only the god of the Norse. That was just his territory. But he went.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the good. He was actually. There was a bunch of gods. There was a bunch of really messed up gods, bad, evil, greedy, stupid gods. And then there was about 20 actually good gods. And there's some story in the Zeus in the Greek mythology about the good ones, but they always got punished or destroyed by Zeus whenever they helped the people. So Odin was one of the good gods that cared about the humans. And so like what he would do is he would go off on the earth and he would shapeshift into like an old man, and then he would go somewhere and he'd sit and watch and see how people treated each other. And so he was always for the little guy or for the one getting misused. So Odin spent all his time trying to help the humans. So I think that's why he got ate by the werewolf, in the story, because, they had to take Odin out because he was actually like the other good gods that Zeus killed,
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why, that's what the dark state always did, was they tried to find the biggest bang for their buck. So whenever they went to perform an action of some kind, it had a multi-pronged outcome. So, they're not going to do just something for a little bit of a gain. They're going to make sure that they get the biggest bang that they could get for that particular action. So,
and a good example of that Larry, would be JFK. JFK was for the people, okay? And so what did
Mhm.
they do? They all ganged up on him and took him out. All the bad heads of, leadership, right? And
Right.
so, I mean, it's the same story repeating itself over and over again. Like it says, nothing new under the sun, right? Everything just keeps repeating itself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, so just so you know, JFK, along with Trump and his family, those families, among many others, are actually a part of what's known as the Order of the Black Sun. And the Order of the Black Sun was one of the factions, major factions, that was used as a security arm for the planet. And they're found in all countries. So that's what kind of maintained the security or military readiness or whatever it was to protect the elites, so to speak. See, so there were other factions vying for power at that time. So you figure in the 60s, I think there were about 5 or 6 global factions that were vying for power, and of course, the presidency of the USA was a big linchpin in that power scheme. So you have to consider that as well.
Well, you think about this though,
He may have
Larry.
been.
He did get to that point where he's like, he knew there was something wrong and he stood up against them and then he
Oh
got
yeah, they
persecuted.
know.
Yeah.
They know all the stuff they're doing, and so it could be that maybe he didn't get paid out or was going to get I don't know, ostracized out of his cut of something in this world by not performing a certain action. Who knows what it was? But maybe he decided to throw them under the bus by giving us all that great information and exposing to them for who they really were.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of perspectives and angles on this stuff.
Yeah.
So, and the
We do
fact that
know that
CIA,
he was trying to he was making statements. And they were subtle, but he was saying this is going to get exposed, this is going to get revealed. They didn't want him to do that. And he was like, I'm going to destroy the CIA in a billion pieces. We're not going to go to war. We're not
yep.
going to do this. And
and,
they didn't want him doing that.
and who ended up orchestrating his assassination.
Well, we interviewed James Files, and James Files was one of the shooters that shot him in the head from the grassy knoll. Now, James Files was CIA from a child, raised up, and was also under Charles Nicolotti. And Charles Nicolotti in the Chicago mob was the assassins for the CIA. So it was orchestrated by LBJ and Bush and Nixon. They were all Nixon was there. He wasn't necessarily in agreement with it maybe, but they all knew. There is no secret amongst any of them. They all know everything. And then they pretend like, oh, we got to solve this problem. We don't know who did it. Here it is all these years, and they pretend like they don't know. Well, they know because they were involved.
Yeah. Well, the key was, Bush Sr., of course, he was the director of the CIA at that time. And then, voila, not long later, he becomes president, which he was vice president prior to that. And which some people say, the vice president actually held more power than the president did at different times. But in any case, they're all vying for power. They're all a bunch of power lusting after people that if they could throw somebody under the bus for them to get a step up, they're going to do that if it's good for them. And
Yeah.
I don't know, man. And right now, there's only like 2 real factions that are vying for power now, and they're severely weakened, and they're going down the drain really quick. And a lot of countries are where their presidencies and heads of state were taken over by these SSP operatives recently, and now they're doing everything they can to kick them out of their countries, because all they are just a bunch of Trump operatives that are trying to promise them all kinds of money if they'll do certain things for them, and they're not having it because they've written too many bad checks already. There's no money. All these governments right now, they're just about bankrupt if they're not already. And the central banks, their liquidity is like next to anything. Yeah, all
right?
of them, man. So
Putin was the
yeah.
only one that was sitting back and, saving for a rainy day, right?
Same for a rainy
Well,
day.
the U.S. Dark state has always needed scapegoats, and Putin and the Soviet Union and Russia have been one of our
Yeah.
biggest ones, the most fun ones.
Come here.
Delilah.
So and it's funny because Russia has actually bailed us out of a few wars, and
I
they
believe
don't
it.
talk about that. Yeah, it was the War of 1812 where Russia came in and blockaded all the ports to keep the British ships out. Otherwise, we would have been invaded, and we wouldn't have been America. I guarantee you, we would have been the Commonwealth of Wales or something. So, and then what was it? World War II, of course, and then
Yeah.
I think there was another one. I think it
Schindler's
was
List.
the
Remember
Civil
that
War
movie,
where they played.
Schindler's List? It was the Russian troops
Yes.
that came in there, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And they lost what 60 million of their own people in just World War II alone. On our side, obviously they had their own interests as well, but they couldn't have the Nazis go in there and knocking them dead. So that might be another word, though. I have to retract that word.
I think
Hey.
what I read in that war book, that the swastika was a symbol of the moon, and what it says is that they know when the full moon comes, these werewolves. So it's actually like a symbol of werewolves, and that five-pointed star pentagram means they're werewolves. Okay, so they know when the full moon comes because now they're werewolves. They know they have to go out on that night and kill. And
Well,
that's the sign of the Nazi. They don't want to, but they have to stay human.
Now here I'm gonna say this. Them poor werewolves, because I don't know if y'all have noticed, but when the moon is full, the rest of the world is freaking crazy. Okay? I mean, the werewolves have their hands full because everybody, I swear, on a full moon, they lose their cotton picking minds.
Yeah, because they probably don't want to be wolf food, okay? They're probably going crazy.
They're probably hunting down the wolves themselves at this point. Well, and I'll tell you, when I worked in the hospitals, there's one thing that I did notice on full moons. Anybody that has dementia on full moons, it affects them, and it makes them mean and unruly. So good luck there, because
a lot of people. I think a lot of people go out at night too, like to have a good time late at night when there's a full moon because it's bright out and they feel like doing something. But I think it's also like a form of bait, for these werewolves and stuff to snatch these people up.
So one of our people that I'm going to probably have on here made a comment about the full moon.
Yeah.
Or no, it was the swastika. The swastika.
Oh yeah.
Is a symbol of the, what is it? Unbiblical cord of
umbilical.
Mother Earth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Umbilical cord of
Yeah, the swastika is a very ancient symbol, and it also could mean that like the four corners of the earth.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of positive connotations too. But unfortunately, the Nazis, or those types of people, decided to use it for really nefarious purposes.
Yes, you are correct.
And that's what everybody's got stuck in their head now, and it's really unfortunate. But it's also a symbol that was used for a long, long time by the Order of the Black Sun. So the Order of the Black Sun is originated in the Ukraine, and that's where the German not so popular movement started. That type of movement, nationalism on steroids.
Okay, here's what it said. The star is the symbol, or the pentagram is a sign of a werewolf. Okay, that's their sign. The vampire, to stay human, the five-pointed star appears on anyone to a victim up to the wolf, so that it'll appear on the victim. That's weird, right? And the swastika represents the moon. When the moon comes up, the man doesn't want to murder, but he knows he cannot escape it.
That's
Yeah.
dark.
Yeah, no kidding. Thanks, Susie.
Yeah.
Anytime,
Put
anytime.
me in a Susie Downer. No.
Anytime.
But it's knowledge is power, though. We should use it wisely, of course. But wow, I've learned something tonight, several things tonight. So I appreciate that.
There you go.
Oh, me too. Yeah, that's what we're here to do. We're here to iron sharpens iron, it said, right?
God, my
I'd
dog's
like to know.
control.
I've been learning quite a bit here lately about shapeshifters or skinwalkers, because deep oceans, deep woo. He talked about Native American. These skinwalkers, here in New Mexico and in Arizona and Utah, places like that, they were
You get a lot of reports of that
interesting.
there.
But from what I've been researching, is that they were like witch doctors from the native tribes that have passed on,
Oh,
and they've been able to kind of hang around and change their forms. They'll change it to whatever needs to be changed to, but they can be pretty dangerous. Matter of fact, my stepson, he was in one of the local pueblos here late at night, and there were some things going on where he had to call his grandmother to come and pick him up from a local store there. And his grandmother, she's mostly native. She picked him up, and then he got in the car, and they started to take off on the road. And all of a sudden, he looked over, and there was a shapeshifter running right next to the car, looking at him. And then he turned over to his grandmother and told him, "Go faster, Grandma! There's a shapeshifter next to the car." And she looks over, hits the gas, boom, and then the shapeshifter just kept up with it. Still glaring at him, red eyes and everything. Scared the
what
hell
did
out
it
of
look like, Larry? What did the shapeshifter look like?
It just looked like, from what he was saying, it was just like a dark form. It kind of had like a physical form, but it was hard to delineate, what it was. You could see the form, and then it had red eyes, and it just like projected fear, And apparently, she had seen him before, and they haunt those areas over there where his grandma used to live.
Wow.
And at night they'd come out, and you better not be walking around at night, especially by yourself. And all the people in the
I would
pueblos
agree
know
with that.
about. Yeah, it's interesting.
Well, one of the things it said in the Jewish thing about the werewolves, that what you use to protect yourself is the ashes. So you sprinkle ashes around, and the werewolves apparently won't. So this is why in the
That was the
temple they
same
would
thing.
bring the ashes. Yeah.
Yeah, ashes said protect from other forms too, but I can't remember what they were off the top of my head.
Really?
Werewolves. I don't doubt that, but there was something else too. I'll have to look that up, and maybe next time we talk, I'll figure it out.
You'll remember what it was, that the ashes that they used, huh?
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head what it was.
Maybe
but,
it's
yeah. So
even
apparently,
the Native Americans knew a lot of stuff like that too.
it
Like
may
they
be the
dealt with a lot of.
shapeshifters. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No doubt.
Huh.
Well,
Yeah, if I seen something red eyes chasing me, I'd be a little freaked out. Yeah.
Just a little bit.
yeah,
Just a little bit.
and they'll turn into dogs and wolves and all kinds of different things.
Gotcha.
Snoop around on you. And, yeah.
So I wonder if they're actually human, just like the werewolf, and they have to try to get a human to become human again.
Well, that's maybe a big possibility. There may be reasons why they, but I don't know what those are. There is a guy that has a YouTube channel. He's a Native American, Navajo, and he goes into a lot of detail about that stuff too. And me and my stepson listen to him off and on, and so I'll have to try to catch some more of what he has to say. and I'll get you the name of the YouTube channel and stuff
Okay.
next time too, or I'll shoot you a note. But it's pretty hair-raising stuff, you know. He's a real
Yeah.
mellow guy, but the stories he's got is just incredible, and you can't make this stuff up. Just crazy.
No. Yeah, some crazy stuff. But we live in a crazy world. I mean, for God's
you
sake.
know, yeah. So the truth is often much more like fiction. You know, it's much more unbelievable a lot of times than fiction is. And
Like to
we're
say,
learning
truth
that
is
more and more every
stranger
day.
than fiction.
Stranger
Yeah.
than fiction. That's right.
Yeah.
And the more I live, the more I learn that, man. It's just crazy.
Right.
I remember the first time that I ever thought to myself, you know, this world is not what we think it is. And boy, I wasn't kidding.
Right.
Yeah.
I was right.
No doubt about it.
That's
I think
true.
we need,
Yeah,
I think Steve was right. Steve said that we need to just hit martial law and just take a big dump truck and go all the way down our government and just throw that pile of crap right in that truck. And just
well, it's kind of like that already. So, and I'll tell you why. Remember I told you about these clowns going around taking over these heads of state and then, you know, whipping out the fake checkbooks, you know, because they're out of money.
Yeah.
Well, what they're doing is they're putting what's known as markers on themselves. And these markers, if their end of the deal isn't held up, then they're marked for death. That's what the marker is for.
Yeah.
And so,
Really?
they've been doing these operatives have been juking over the Japanese Yakuza. You know who that is, right?
Yeah.
So the Yakuza they're like an assassin group that pretty much runs Japan. Very organized and very deadly. They're cool as long as you're holding up your end of the deal.
Right.
But that's who ultimately killed George Bush. That's who ultimately killed George Bush Jr. or Senior. Was the Yakuza.
Yep.
Really?
Because he didn't
didn't
hold up his end of the deal.
No, I didn't know that. You knew that, Brenda?
Yeah. And that's also another reason why when you looked on his coffin, his flag was all crinkled up. Because he was
what was?
Right. His flag was crinkled because he was a disgrace to this country.
Well, they'll send you a dead fish in the mail too.
Yeah.
Really?
It's pretty much telling you that you're marked. You're going to die because that's what they do. You don't hold up your end of the deal, you're going to die. And you agree. Whoever agrees to that with them, you're marked for death. You got a marker. So that's what's going to happen. Not just with Japanese Yakuza.
Sounds like a John Wick movie or something, you know?
Yeah. Well, there you go.
You know what I mean?
So the Koreans are in the same boat.
Yep.
You remember recently when Korea was supposed to go to DEFCON or go to martial law and all this crap recently?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was part of the SSP's doing, you know, and so these Koreans, you know, they're not about to be dishonored like that and made to look stupid in front of their own people. So now they're kicking these SSP people out of their country. There's not going to be anywhere for these people to hide. So basically, it's martial law on them. And once these clowns are gone, and these operatives that have been running the deep state are gone, which it ain't going to take much longer, then
we know
there's going to be no need for martial law of any kind. Matter of fact, martial law has been in place for hundreds of thousands of years, but it was recently lifted. 7 years ago now? So, you know, there is no martial law anymore, which is one of the reasons why these governments are out of money, is because every time they started a war or every time they broke a peace treaty or made a peace treaty, these were bonds that were utilized in order to generate money from. But that whole system isn't in place anymore, so they can't create any more money by the old system's way, because it was a dark system. It was a dark age, and that's the way Marduk had it set up.
Wow.
Yeah, this is
so get ready. They say by the end of this year or next year, we're going to have a public contact with some hybrid alien human types.
Oh, that doesn't
But
surprise
the
me. I already have.
yeah, yeah, but yours were a little darker than the type that the public's going to meet.
Yeah.
But
it would be nice.
So
to meet
you're
some
more than
lighter
ready.
ones. It would be
Yeah.
nice
So
to meet some lighter ones and just say, you know, like I said, I'm waiting for somebody to give me that green bell where I just blow real hard and my thumb and my new leg pops out. That will just be, that'll be awesome. Because then there's going to be no
Oh, yeah.
stopping me. Give me my feet back. Everybody thought I was hell on wheels before. Yeah, give me my
I was
leg
gonna
back.
say, feet don't fail me now. Yeah.
Well, you know, and that just reminds me now about one of the reasons why I kind of started drifting away from the Christianity or religion or whatever you want to call it, is that at 25 years old, I had an OBE. It was an out-of-body experience. And
Oh.
somehow I had clinically died in my sleep. And I came out of my
Wow.
body. And I floated around my house. I floated around the backyard. And you can't make that stuff up. That's more real than physical life, buddy.
That's
And
true.
after I came back and dropped back into my own body, I've never been the same since. And
Yeah.
once you get a sense of the true reality, not this 3D reality, then things are forever changed as far as your perspectives on life goes.
Yep, been there, done that.
Right?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have,
Same
but they,
here.
only until recently it hasn't been able to be talked about.
Right.
Otherwise, back in the 70s or 80s, man, people thought they would have stuck you in a padded room somewhere, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, they still try it
Yep.
nowadays too, but you know.
Especially in America.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I
it's
kept telling
insane.
Susie, that's it. It's time to move to Russia. Pack up the dogs and the horses.
Oh,
So,
yeah, for sure.
we have a free pass. My dog was born there.
He's already a citizen, right?
Yeah.
He's got papers.
And he's family. Yeah.
That's right. He's family.
I've actually checked into moving to Russia myself, or even like Romania or something like that. These other countries, they may not have the Second Amendment or anything like that, but over the last 10, 20 years, you haven't really even needed it. These places, they treat their people so well,
Yeah.
compared to America. We don't know because we've always lived here. This is it for us.
Hey, I heard Putin
But-
was giving away free citizenship if anybody wanted to come over there,
Well, but here's my thing. I don't want to give up on Trump yet. I think that there's a lot of good potential. And I think that in that potential, set aside from everything he has to do, we all have a role that we have to play in this also, because he needs us just as much as we need him. So I think it's going to be a fair turnaround, because there's going to be people like us who know what's going on that are going to have to help these big dum-dums that have kept their eyes closed this whole entire time, because they're going to be wondering what in the hell just happened. And we're going to have
Well,
to...
let's put it this way. Brenda knows because
I know.
Brenda's been to
because I have a daughter.
Mar-a-Lago, okay? Let's just put it that way. Brenda's been to Mar-a-Lago.
I've had a daughter. I've got a daughter who is stuck in that, oh, my life is peachy keen type thing, and thinks Obama was the best president we ever had. So
Yeah, I heard Obama's getting a divorce because he's seeing Jennifer Aniston, and that's why his partner wasn't
Jennifer
wasn't at the
Jennifer Mandiston. Say it right, Jennifer Mandiston.
yeah, Mandiston.
Let's
Yes,
get this
yes.
straight here.
Ugh.
But I don't know about that. But anyways,
I got to get my
She
redneck
rubs me
straight
the wrong way,
language.
man. I can't. For some reason, I cannot stand that lady.
I know. Well, because
Every time I see her on the TV, I'm like, ugh, God, she makes me want to puke.
because her name is Jennifer Mandiston.
Jennifer
Yeah,
Man.
apparently.
Mandiston.
Maybe I'm seeing something. Maybe I got some, what do you call it? A little intuition on that more than I thought I did, or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I'm gonna tell you, because there was Big Mike, and people like Obama don't change like that. So
Yeah.
so Mandiston it is.
Yeah. Holly Weird has gotten weirder and
Holly
weirder.
Weird. Holly
It
Weird
never
is
ceases
weird.
to amaze me.
It's like they have that
And you
saying
know what's
out
funny
here.
is,
Yeah, they have that saying out here in Austin, keep Austin weird. Yep. Well, there you go. Holly Weird. And
Yeah.
something tells me that all these people, because their houses burned down, all them weirdos are going to come here. And they can all stay in Austin as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, don't come
That's
east,
their
whatever you
place. They have it. They can rename it whatever they want.
Yeah. Austin is weird. I lived there for a long time, and yeah, not a place I would recommend.
I was there in the 90s. It seemed fairly normal then.
Yeah, not
Well,
so much
went
more.
the
bar
family
hopping
that
and-
raised me was related to John Connolly. So, and I worked in the saddle shop 2 blocks from the Capitol, 2 blocks from Governor's Mansion, and Lady Bird Johnson used to come in the store all the time, and I knew her, and a lot of the Austin, I was surrounded because of the family that I was raised by. So, yeah, it's definitely a weird city. Okay. It's definitely weird.
no
Yeah,
doubt about
well, and it's gotten, because over the last couple of years, it's gotten extremely bad because, of course, Florida and a lot of other states got the well-to-do people that came from California that are in their right minds. Nope, we got all the psychos. Okay. Austin got all of the liberal, skinny jean wearing children.
And not to mention that Michael Aquino put his Church of Set there in Austin because what was it? The head of the CIA, who Trump does not like, is Brenham, right? William or John Brennan, the head of CIA.
Brennan.
Yeah,
Brennan,
yeah. He spent a lot of time there in Austin and at the university, and yeah, so yeah, that's their stomping ground. Yeah. And that's where Lyndon B. Johnson lived, because he used to go to Bastrop and they used to meet out there with all the heads, and that's where they plotted their demise for JFK.
I told Susie
Bastrop.
that
Yeah.
I want to get in her truck and get binoculars and go sit somewhere around that church with binoculars and a pad of paper and write down every single
Werewolf vampire that walks
every
in.
single politician that walks into that church. I want to
Yeah.
write it all down. And then while everybody's in there and they got a service going, I want to run in there and yell, "We know who the hell you people are," and walk out.
Just watch them on a full moon, Brenda.
Get a real quiet drone, with some high definition camera equipment on it.
Oh, somebody
There you
will
go.
write that down.
There you go. Stay incognito.
Well, if they don't see it or hear it. Yeah.
That's right.
Well, anyway, yeah, that Bastrop County, man, I had no idea it went that deep. But that doesn't surprise me either now.
Hey,
Yeah.
I feel bad for you.
D, you are correct on all of those. And yes, Ellen was born that way. But I found
no
out
doubt about it.
that I think, okay, hermaphrodites, that is a real thing. I knew one when I was a kid. She was a friend of mine. And I think that some of them are born like that. I don't think that they're all men that want to become women, or, not all of them. Some of them, yes.
Well, see, that's a Loki Lucifer thing, because Loki, everybody I think knows that Loki could become male or female. And as a female, he could give birth. So that's a Lucifer thing.
Well, I mean, on a medical term, because my friend
he has a lot of children on this planet. Yeah.
My friend was not a bad person. Yes, and Lady Gaga was born a hermaphrodite. But and Lisa was not a bad person. She was actually a very good person that came from a very good family. But
genetics.
Unfortunately, it was in the stars. But they both did not work. Both pieces did not work. So there is a surgery where they can take that off. How
nowadays they can do all kinds of weird stuff.
How awful this may sound for men, they'll just whack off the tallywhacker because it didn't work anyways. But I mean, so in all fairness, some of them were born like that, but
Yeah.
there are some that
Hey, werewolves are born werewolves. What are you gonna say?
Take care of each other, I guess. Yep.
yeah, that's about all you can do.
But,
Give it a bath, rub it behind the ears. I don't know, but if it doesn't want
brush
to eat
its
you,
teeth,
that's
maybe.
cool. I'm always looking for that protective dog. God only knows.
Yeah, like you said earlier, Larry, they've been messing with this DNA for a long time.
Yes, they
Oh,
have.
no doubt about it. Well, like I said, a lot of these different Anunnaki, they have a bunch of different DNA that went into different people, and there's a lot of this stuff that we are just readily available to our eyes. We might hear stories about it, but some people like Brenda actually get to see or smell or whatever it is, this stuff. So,
Oh,
but I hate to burst your bubble right here, Brenda. I got to tell you something though.
Go.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Trump's been dead for a few years.
I already know.
Okay.
Yes, helicopter.
So you're just okay, going with the all right. As long as you know, because
I don't think Larry expected her to say that, but okay. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Well, she was pinning a lot of hope on it, and but
I
just want to make sure she's okay.
The thing of it is I know who exactly is playing Trump, and that I can't say. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I try to tell everybody.
It is what it is.
You all think that as many years has gone by, Melania never changes? Why is that? So
why what?
I said
why Melania never changes?
Why she never changes? She doesn't age. Why is that? Well, I know why, but sometimes you just can't say everything. You can sit here and try to give little kicks here and there and stuff, but you can't straight up and say things and people just don't get it, or they say, no, I don't I don't think that's right. But hey, okay. I'm gonna go for it.
And that's a great example of like when you tell somebody you're something that's completely out of their scope of knowledge, it's so difficult for somebody to accept that. And that's the way it was with when you were seeing or smelling the reptilians and then telling everybody about this stuff. All those other people, they were totally outside of that scope of knowledge you had. And there's no way you could penetrate that scope or that sphere of knowledge that they had unless they had some of that knowledge themselves. So
yes.
It's the same thing with this political thing, Trump and Melania. But I did notice that after the original Trump died, that Melania was nowhere to be found for a while.
Yep.
For several years.
Yes.
And that was because, as high up as the Trump family was in the Order of the Black Sun, Melania was gifted to him through whatever deals that they had. And so that was what that was. So once he's gone, then she was no longer attached to that person. So I don't know how they got this new Melania, if it's even the same one or not. I doubt it is, because she's got quite the low rimmed hat on, I don't know. But in any case, I deem government Hollywood for ugly people. So I have no idea what Melania is doing in there. Thank you very much. That's all it is. It's Hollywood, man. What's going on? Obviously, it has some implications for people, sometimes dire. But realistically, these people that are in government, it's organized as a foreign for-profit corporation under the Crown Corporation of the City of London, of which the Rothschilds run.
Yeah.
That kind of government, that de facto corporate government, doesn't represent the people of this country any more than the man on the moon represents Uranus.
That's right.
That's why we're in the crap zone we're in here. Mm-hmm. That's why we don't get help in Western North Carolina. That's why we don't get help in Eastern Tennessee, and that's why they burned up Hawaii and Paradise and Palisades in L.A. You know, all they're doing is they got their back scratched, so now they're scratching somebody else's at our expense. I don't care who's president; it's all the same.
Well, them reptilian Dan, they purchased Israel with the Balfour Declaration. That's
Oh
what that is. They bought
yeah.
it with finances. You know,
Yep.
so they can't get rid
Oh yeah.
of the indigenous people, so they start murdering them.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's why one of the reasons I am what they call state what do they call them, state national now. So I don't pay federal taxes or state taxes, or I don't even pay Social Security or Medicare anymore because I am not a U.S. citizen. A U.S. citizen is basically a corporate slave, emboldened to that de facto corporate government, federal government. And they say if you reside in the United States, well, if you look up the definition of or the location of where the United States is located, it says it's in the District of Columbia. Do me or you or anybody else here reside in
We
the
don't
District
live
of
there.
Columbia?
Right.
No, you are
That's
not
like
a
the
U.S.
Vatican
citizen
City. Yeah.
unless you choose to be. Yeah,
Little tiny
unless you
area.
choose to be. But most people, and I was in the same boat. I had my birth certificate sent off, and they gave me a Social Security card and said, well, "That's who you are." And I said, "Okay," and so did everybody else practically on this in this country. But that's not
True.
really who you are. That's a corporate entity that was established for you to do business in this country. And also, if you accept your citizenship, then all you have are the privileges that are doled out to you through the Constitution of the District of Columbia. The Constitution of America, the Republic of America, does not apply to you. But
Well, that rabbit hole gets deep, doesn't it, Larry?
Unless you tell them who you really are, that you were born on the unincorporated land of whatever state you were born in, then you are protected by and given the rights due from that Constitution of a republic. So there's actually two governments for the country. There's two governments for each state, two governments from each county, and two governments for each town and city.
Wow.
Which one do you want to fall under?
Wow.
But that's how
true.
they were able to control everyone. Yeah.
I'm looking for a big mothership to come take me off this rock.
So this whole thing that we're seeing, this dark state thing, and all the control systems have been in place for so long, they're bellying up, man. I mean, there's going to be some crazy stuff that unfolds because it's all unwinding, but just grin and bear it. It's just something that has to happen before things get a lot better for us. Hopefully in the next year or two, maybe in the next several months, we begin to see some really neat things unfold.
Some big changes, yeah.
So think positively, speak positively.
Absolutely.
And that's where it's at. We have more power within us than we could possibly realize, and we need to use it for the right purposes. So anyway, that's probably my 2 cents.
I agree with that. That's for sure.
Your 2 cents were worth at least 10. Okay.
Oh,
Don't ever cut yourself short. Don't ever cut yourself short.
Well, just being modest, I guess. I don't know. Should always keep it low key. Have some fun. That's what I wanted to do tonight, was have some fun, and I've enjoyed it tonight.
You know what?
So thank you guys.
We enjoyed having you, and we will have you back because we gotta get into more political talk and stuff. And as things happen, it'll be a lot more interesting. I would really I have a few people, like next Saturday, I'm talking about basically doing I have a few people out here in that watch our show that want to come on and talk about certain stories about, alien and different stuff like that. And some people have had their own experiences. So I'm thinking next Saturday night, I'm going to have an open mic where I'm going to go ahead, we'll start a show, and then I'll put the link up and have people come in one at a time and, you know, tell a little bit about what they're talking about. And I think
Kind of
it'll
like a
be kind of
roundtable
fun.
discussion.
It kind of, I
Yeah.
think it'll be pretty
Yeah,
fun.
that'd be pretty
So
neat. Yeah.
I'm going to put it, when I put that show out, y'all have to make sure that you share that show when you find it. It should be, it'll pop up on my Facebook, in my
Okay.
Beyond the Box group, and it should also pop up on YouTube. So when I do that, that'll be kind of fun. We can all come in and do our thing.
Yeah, I have somebody who should be invited to that roundtable, who's got some real good stories of her own.
Oh, that'll be
Yeah.
awesome.
She's originally a Texan, and she's blown me away with a few of her stories. So yeah, I'll forward that information along to her if that's okay.
Oh yeah. You're welcome to come back too if you want.
Yeah.
And
yeah, well, if I get the chance, I work a lot of hours, but you know, any chance I get, I'll definitely come back. And if I get the invite, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I'm glad you came on
fun,
tonight.
I think
It's
it'll
been really
be pretty fun.
Definitely.
Because we know a lot of people that are classified as crazy, and you know what? We have determined that crazy is normal now. That's our norm.
Hey man, you can't see crazy unless you are crazy, and here we are.
Yeah, well, you know, and I mean, you don't know things unless you're crazy, also. So
you got that right. You got to be crazy enough to believe this crap.
Right?
And it takes a lot of faith to believe, you know, when you know.
Right. And that is absolutely all right by us. Well, guys, we've gone a whole 2 hours. So we're going to go ahead and cut it. I don't know if I'm going to have a show tomorrow night or not, guys. Like I said, I've been feeling a little under the weather. So I will be working on next weekend shows. We are going to, like I said, add extra shows. I think Steve and I are going to get together and do an around the world show because we found some very interesting stuff. We were like a bunch of nerds on the internet with Google Maps. We were going inside buildings and everything. It was really cool. So we.
Hey, I just wanted to.
Where'd we go, Steve?
Also
Romania.
wanted to thank all the. Yeah, I wanted to thank all the commoners on here too, man. You got quite a showing. You know, good people here.
Yeah, we have a good group.
Thanks for coming. And
we don't have awesome. Don't have a really big show, but you know, we like our little show, and we love the people that watch our show and come in and sit in the chat with us. They're great. They are really great. We could not do this and have as much fun without them because they are just pretty awesome.
Got that right.
You know, they really are. But all right, guys. I hope everybody.
Okay, well.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me on, and nice to meet all of you, and hope to see you again soon.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you can come on back.
You can count on that.
All right, Susie, you got my number.
Yep, I do.
Talk to you later.
All right. God bless.
Guys.
Good night.
Thanks for being here, Larry.
All right, guys. So, wait a minute. What'd that say? Oh, thank you, Woo. Woo, you gonna come on next weekend too? You can pop on here and tell us.
That's what Woo said. Yeah, Woo said I have stories.
I know he does. Woo's got some.
Why does Woo have a female on his her? Is it a he or she?
Yes. It's a he.
Sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Now he's got a big old beard. Now, unless it was a woman who was in the circus at one particular point in time, it's a he.
Okay. Well, on the one that says Deep Oceans or D Oceans Deep Woo, and it looks like a female, but it's real tiny. It looks like a female, probably. I think.
Woo.
Yeah, it's a girl.
Woo, do you have figures? do you have a good figure there, Woo?
There's a girl on the the picture in front of the. Yeah.
I don't know. Are you looking at the right person there, Susie?
I don't know. It says D Oceans Deep Woo.
Woo is under that. Hey, what is it? Let's see.
Oh,
people. Yeah, those are two
you have
different
an.
people. Woo is
Do
the
you have
one.
another woo? You have two woos. Oh,
Woo Derek and
two woo woos.
Woo the Ocean.
I
y'all,
told
y'all freaked out
Well,
Susie now.
that's confusing.
I was gonna say, Woo, did you grow boobies on me?
I mean, I'm looking at the girl's face. I see the name Woo. I'm like, come on now.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. That's
is
her
funny.
channel. She's a psychic.
Okay, well,
Are you all right now? Breathe, Susie. It's
I'm
okay.
just saying, I only call it like I see it.
Nora said too much woo.
Yes. Somebody's going woo woo.
Woo!
Woo says he's got man peaks. Does that count?
I was going a little woo woo here.
Woo. Shh. Your other half's gonna hear you talking about your man peaks. She's gonna throw a shoe at you. Keep your man peaks between us.
Ladies, can you hear me now or no?
What?
The
Can you
what?
hear me now?
Yes.
We can hear you now.
Woo!
You had to do that. Jason, Steve's out shopping. Norma says Woo keeps them pecs undercover.
Somebody's undercover here. There's an undercover woo here.
I really hate that he had me answer that because I know you have questions now. When he said, I hate to break it to you, but the real Trump died. I'm like, yes, I know. Like, dang it. Man, now Susie's going to have questions. Shit.
There's
it is
stuff
what it
that
is, I guess.
What'd you say, Steve?
The monoatomic gold. I've looked into that with the pyramids in Egypt, and that they were designed to create the monoatomic gold, the white powder, for immortality, pretty much, and alleviating all ailments. So it's real fascinating to get into.
Yeah, that's it right there.
So I've got it saved in my cart because I don't have the money to get it right now till I get paid. But
how much did it say it was?
That's the first thing. It's like $35 plus whatever the shipping is. But
okay.
So that's the first thing on my cart right there. So yeah. So I'm gonna tell my daughter that I won't send her $50 this pay. I'll have to wait and send it next pay because I've been sending.
I gotta invest in some gold.
I know, right? I've been sending her a little bit of money here and there, so I'll have to wait. But that'll help me and Jack probably. I think Jack will be good with that stuff too. So that might be an all right thing.
Yeah.
Norma said, do you use it daily? Yeah, I think you're supposed to use it daily. Yes.
It says 4 milligrams in the morning, and then you put it under your tongue, and it's like a little droplet. It's got a little, like thing like that.
Dropper. Yeah.
Yeah, a little dropper, and then 2 at night, and it's a 60-day. This is like a 60-day.
That's one thing
deal.
I got to look. I don't know what size that one is. It didn't really say whether it was.
This is 4 ounces, 120 milligrams.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So we all are in agreement. We're going to get on the gold.
We're all going to get on the gold.
Can't have any in my pocket. Might as well put it in my mouth.
We're going to try to increase our IQ.
Right.
Okay.
That didn't sound good at all. So I'm just going to sit here and shut up. We're going to increase. That's right. And we're going to put we're going to put that stuff through the test. We're going to give it to Brenda, and we're going to see if it increases my IQ. Just saying. We're going to try this. See what happens.
You're the guinea pig. Me and you will be the guinea pig.
Yeah, because, I mean, I look at it like this. Like I said, I am so computer stupid. So if I get on here and just start doing stuff and you guys see thumbnails popping up and all this other crap, you're going to be like, what the heck just happened to Brenda? Oh, Brenda's on the gold.
On the gold.
The gold. Oh my God. I have a fever right now, y'all.
She's laughing about it. You're so funny.
Yeah, I look like crap.
Poor baby.
My lymph nodes are swollen in my neck. My ears
Sorry.
hurt. Like, oh my God.
You just need to take a hot bath and some Epsom salt or something. Soap.
I can't take a bath. My tub doesn't have a plug, and
okay, you get a new plug. You'll get you.
I have to make Jack scrub out
stick
my shower.
Stick a washcloth in there.
Weird like that.
Look, stick the washcloth in there. Plug the hole. You know?
Yeah, there is that. And then Putin will be standing on the side of the tub because it'll be different. I won't be in my shower chair, and you know, Susie, Putin will be standing on the side of the tub looking at me like, "What are you doing? Can I come in there?" You gotta see him when I shower, Norma. He'll stick his head around the shower curtain and peek at me to see if I'm still there. Like when I close the shower curtain, I play a disappearing trick or something, you know. Yeah, he's funny. And then once he knows I'm there, he lays down underneath my walker and sits there in the bathroom until I get done. Then he'll stand up and he waits for me to dry my foot. And then he'll come over and lick my toe. And I'm like, what are you doing, you weirdo? So.
Oh, Norma said lots of bone broth. I said, Norma, I don't eat dead animals. No, I bury them. I don't eat them.
No, well, I don't know. If I was you, I'd grind up the bones of that frickin' hog that got a hold of Lucy.
I'm turning him into fertilizer.
Right? There you go. That's what I had said earlier. The only way that pig's going to get eaten is if, there you are. Where'd you go?
Hey, I did see a buzzard out there today flying in the creek area. So it could have been they did get that hog. So I'm going to go out. I'm going to give it a day or two and see if the buzzard show up. Then I know they got him somewhere. I'll go look and see.
Yeah, it might have crawled up there somewhere and bled out and died. I mean, I hate it because no animal should ever have to suffer and die regardless. But
yeah,
wild hogs, they just.
Well, and the thing of it is what everybody told me. Like if you were out in the field, out there in the woods, and that hog saw you, it would come after you. Just like they're dangerous. You know, I mean, no doubt they're dangerous, and they go in people's chicken houses and eat all their chickens. They destroy stuff and they kill animals. I mean, I guess that's why they're really, and they do tear up people's pastures really bad. Like they root up everything, but that is no big deal to me. You know, you just get the tractor and you fix it, but you're going to go around just killing other pets and animals.
Yes.
And Joel told me today he's still not recovered from the trauma that he faced with all that.
He's going to be traumatized from that for a while because he
said he couldn't sleep.
Well, yeah, because the adrenaline that he expressed out of his body when all that was happening, and it was his dog that he was close to. I mean, he would have probably been like that with any of the animals, but because it was his dog. Yeah. And that adrenaline.
Well, that dog is like his child or something.
His muscles are going to end up bothering him and hurting him too.
Yeah, and I told him today, I said, now you know how I feel about you, okay? And why I worry over you, because see, now she's like your child. You love her so much, and that just totally freaked you out, stressed you out. And I said, now you know how I feel when you were like sneaking out at night in the hoopty, driving around the city.
Yeah.
You know, You know, it's like
Lou said in Florida, hog hunting season is year round, and there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
You know, they just I know out here they say that they get into the schoolyard, so they have to keep the kids inside when the hogs are out there because they'll hurt the kids. So, you know, they'll go after them. The hogs are just it's almost like they're born with rabies set in their brain, and they are just stark raving freaking mad from birth. You know.
Yeah. And think about this, Brenda. Why is it the only animal that Jesus cast the demons into? I mean, that's kind of a weird thought.
Because pigs' brains are small. I don't know.
Pigs are nasty or something. I don't know what it is.
Why I don't know. I like
they were allowed to go in the hogs.
Look. Now I've been around little piglets that have been the cutest damn things I've ever seen in my life. I used to have a pot-belly pig when I lived in Arizona. They can be nice, but them wild hogs. Now, if you were to find one as a baby and take it home and raise it,
domesticate it and stuff like that,
it would be okay. But when they're out there in the wild, there's just no controlling them. I mean, it would be like a mad bear on the loose. You know?
And you know what? Also, they say with hogs, they'll eat a person and there's nothing left. They eat everything.
They'll spit the teeth out.
That's it. But they'll and that's why James Files said the day before he shot Kennedy, he was in Fort Worth, and him and another, you know, mobster dude, they ate at the Pancake House in Fort Worth, and then that morning they had to go take care of a guy, and they fed him to the hogs, and the hogs took care of him.
Yeah.
And this is how they got rid of a lot of their, you know, businesses. Yeah.
And a lot of
hogs are. And have you heard some of those serial killer guy that had hogs, and he would that they would feed all their victims to the hogs? It was terrible.
Why don't they only use
to get rid of the bodies, you know?
Oh, why do they only use pig organs for transplants for humans?
Well, they say, I've heard, this is what I've heard, this is weird, but a wild boar was crossed with a human DNA and it created the pig. And that's why it was forbidden for Jews and Muslims to eat pork, because they know they're eating people.
And Wu, you are right. Pigs' hearts are pretty similar to humans, and DNA and stuff like that. So yes. Now, now I will tell you this:
it's a hybrid animal, just like a
werewolf. Are they doing that? Or is the highest bidder getting the last person that passed away's organs? So that's another aspect of life that we're probably lied to about. So, but I know like my brother had to have a triple bypass, and then that clogged up and slowed down his heart, and he wasn't getting any oxygen. So now, could they have given him a pig heart? Probably. But he would have just screwed that one up like he did his own. So I don't think that they really wanted to waste their time with it. But, you know, there are a lot of things that science does that really blows me away. So whenever I hear, well, we can treat your cancer, but we can't cure it, I know that's a lie. When they say we can treat your diabetes, but we can't cure it, that is a lie. So it's so hard for me to, I mean, I'm glad that I have the doctor that I do have, because when I take him this stuff and show it to him, boy, he's going to flip eggs and he's going to be buying his own. So every time I take him something, when I find something and say, hey man, you got to check this out, he gets on the computer right there in front of me and starts looking it up and looking what's in it and looking to see this and see what that is and if that has a backlash to this. And he's like, take it and I'm going to order some. So he's pretty funny. I like him. But a lot of the doctors out there, they're just, And a lot of them, it's not their fault because they're not taught properly. You know, they always tell doctors, well, you're going to notice that these people have got these parasites, but it's normal because the parasites help eat the bad bacteria in people. That's what they're told. I know that's what they're told. I went to school with them also. So I know that's what they're told. So
I agree with Maria in the chat. She's saying everything is sentient. That's true. Even plants are.
Okay, so Maria, I wanted to comment too. Maria, I had this theory, okay? They made us carnivorous, okay, a carnivore or whatever, carnivores. I had this theory, see, because I'm a vegetarian too, that what they do, these vampire werewolves and all these reptilians, you know, they have to eat human flesh. They have to eat, you know, all this stuff, right? So they make all the humans think that they got to eat animals too, because you know why? Because you would know the difference between them and us if they have to have that flesh, that dead animal flesh, right? And that they have to have that, you know, red soup, right? They have to. And so we would know if we saw them doing that, that they're not like us. So they all say, oh, y'all got to eat this and, you know, y'all got to be like us. That way they can hide in plain sight. And we would never know by their diet that that's what they are. See, so that's
you know
what my
heard?
theory was.
Now let me tell you something I heard. So somebody said, okay, you take a cow. Why do people eat red beef? They tell us because we need that protein, correct? Correct.
Bullshit.
That's what no, hang on. That's what they tell us, right?
Yeah.
So if a cow can produce its own protein, why cannot we?
Because we're not smart enough. We need some more of this gold to get our brain working. Okay.
I hope I Am Joy appreciates the fact that you are plugging your product.
We need to think outside the box.
Please call me. It's like, geez. Yeah, it's your product is outside the box, so it's all right by us. And I'm also for all these things that are not approved by the FDA, because God only knows the FDA has got their head stuck right up their rear ends and don't know their ass from their hands. Okay, so there you go, FDA. I just threw you under the bus.
Yeah, I just kind of, you know, after finding out about Benjamin being a werewolf vampire, you know, it gives me a whole new perspective on who's running the planet, you know?
Well,
yeah.
There is still one major factor up above there on that pyramid that still has family running around that hopefully they can take care of, because we've got to get rid of this evil stuff out of here. It's got to go. It's really got to go. We have to get everybody on the proper mindset, and people don't realize that the things that are about to happen is stuff that nobody has really even read about in a history book. So it's going to be a shocking experience. It really is. And it's going to, I mean, there's even things I know an awful lot. I know an awful lot I don't say. But there is a lot of stuff I still don't know. So it may be a little, I mean, it's not going to be a shock, but it may be a little surprising to me. Like, oh, really? Whoa. But nothing ever really shocks me anymore. I'm just saying. I'm just saying it doesn't shock me.
Right?
So it's one
you
of those.
You do pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I try. My brain does work, believe it or not, sometimes when it really wants to, when it doesn't have that ache.
Norma says, could you give a hint? A hint? A hint. She didn't ask for an answer, just a hint.
A hint.
Like a clue. Like, okay, we're going on a treasure hunt.
blue suede shoes.
Okay. That's a hint?
That's a hint.
Okay.
Steve is smiling and bobbing his head. You must be
Okay,
listening to music, Steve.
Blue suede shoes. Can you give another hint, Brenda?
Blue eyes
Okay.
and blue suede shoes.
Okay. And what about three is a charm? Better than a blue dress or a blue roof.
No blue dresses. No blue dresses. Let's see. Another one. Okay. Guitars.
Oh. Okay.
Do you need more, Susie?
I'm good.
It's so easy to do. Like, I know.
I'm
I know
good. I'm good. I'm good now.
Okay.
That's funny.
Steve on a long road trip. Steve,
I'm more confused than I ever was, but I'm kind of.
I'll fix you when we're done.
Okay.
Steve is not on a long road trip. He went to Walmart, a couple of them, right, Steve? Yeah. He's going hunting. So Norma says, got it.
Look for things that move my collection, but I also look for inventory for my eBay store. So I'm out quite a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Out shopping for the business, for your little home business.
He's our better part of Amazon. He shops while we're online. In 14-degree weather. 14.
That's not fun.
Weather. Yeah.
It's currently 22 degrees out.
Oh my God, it went up. It's 28 here, so.
We had a nice day today. It was pretty nice out there.
Yeah, we're going back to that where it's 55, 60 during the day, and then at night it's in the 20s. Wait, that was my computer. Let me not go by that. Let me look here.
Norma, no Pokemon here. I stopped that a long time ago.
Luke says, no
25 years ago I stopped that.
It's 43 here. It's 43 here now. So yeah.
Okay.
It's a good one.
We should be a couple degrees cooler, so let's see what we're at. 36.
36.
No, 37. 37. 37. Yeah. I don't like numbers when they start with 3 and not for temperature. No. They got to be at least 4 and up.
Right? 29 in Florida. Oh. I bet the palm trees are wondering what in the crap is going on there.
Because we didn't even get snow over here. We never even got nothing.
Oh, it snowed. I heard it snowed in Florida. Did it snow in Florida, Will?
I heard that. Pensacola had Florida at snow.
Well, I bet there aren't very many half-naked, beautiful women out there on the beach now.
It'll be 61 degrees tomorrow. That'll be really nice.
Oh, up there with you?
I like that. I like 61.
What's it supposed to be here tomorrow? What is tomorrow? Saturday? It's supposed to be 60 during the day, 46 at night, but it's going to rain tomorrow.
60? Oh, 61 here. So pretty much same. Pretty close.
We're going to be 62 come next Wednesday, but 100% rain, so that ain't going to do me any good anyways. See, when there's good weather, I can't go outside because I can't be out in the rain. I'll short out my chair, you know, and I don't have $4 grand sitting around in my pocket to buy me another one. So, you know, I can't. I got to take care of the one I got. I don't get my new one until February. the end of February, I think, middle to the end of February. I got to check. So yeah, once every 5 years, I can have a new one. They got a foot of snow in Florida. Oh my goodness. Well, that's a lot for them.
Yeah, that is a lot.
Considering they usually have about 3 foot of sand, I mean, and grass.
Right.
I bet the alligators are confused. How's the alligators doing down there, Woo? They've got to be at a loss.
I saw a picture with the alligators in the ice with their noses sticking out. Do they put their little noses out so they can breathe and then just
Oh my God, were they frozen in there?
Yeah. But they all do that when it gets like that. That's what this guy was saying. I'm like,
oh my God, what are they doing in that water? It's cold.
Freezing.
Warm with it. You think they would be like digging a hole out there in the golf course or something, sitting in the sand pit, or
you think they'd be headed to Florida, but oh yeah, they are in Florida. No.
they would be headed to Texas with the rest of their brothers down here. We've got them down here too. I don't think they're as big down here as they are in Florida.
Well, they have alligators here. They have alligator and crocodile down there because a lot of people turn crocodiles loose out there, and the crocodiles get real big.
Well, I think if I had one as a little
baby, when I was in Florida, I used to get chased by alligators. It was kind of scary.
I would get me one as a little baby, and then as it got bigger, take it outside and stake it to my yard so that nobody would come and bother me, and just throw them a raw chicken every now and then. Here you go.
They eat dogs. They eat kids. And,
yeah, well, they wouldn't eat my dog. They wouldn't eat
Yeah.
Well, my snake, when
pretty fast.
I used to have a red-tailed boa, and she was a big girl. She was 6 foot. And when I had her, that's what I used to have to feed her, because I couldn't stand getting the rats and smacking their heads against the wall, and then they twitch. I didn't like that. So I would just go to the store and buy raw chickens, and then just go throw her chicken, and she would eat that. I couldn't do the whole rat thing. That freaked me out. So I was not okay with that, because I've had rats for pets before, so I was not good with that at all. But yeah, I think with the alligators, I think you just do the same thing. I don't know what they feed them when they keep them in captivity. I think from what I've seen,
probably chickens.
Well, they do that. They give them big slabs of beef or something. I think I've seen them. I don't know. The crocodile hunter, John Denver, whoever he is now, he's not here, so I can't ask him. What do you feed my crockies? By crocky? What do you feed them?
When I was in Florida at the university there, and there was like all kinds of people getting eaten by alligators. It was like all the time, and dogs all the time go down by the water. Yeah. It's real common down there.
Oh.
Yeah.
You
just don't hear about it that much, but it happens a lot.
Look at what Wu said. He's in a place where they have got alligator farms and tons of haunted places in Florida.
Chicken. Yeah, Norma said that chicken. Yeah, I heard it. I think it was chicken. They throw them chickens.
And why not?
Yeah. Yeah, they can raise a lot of chickens pretty cheap.
Yeah, chickens are pretty cheap.
Hatch the eggs and raise them, yeah.
By the handful. You got to kind of control those, because if you don't, then we'll have an overabundance of chickens running around everywhere, tearing up everybody's yards.
No, it's just that they mass breed these, or they mass produce chickens for the industry. So that's why there's so
but if nobody ever ate chicken anymore, then what would happen to those chickens?
Chickens are good for eggs, you know.
Chickens are good for eggs.
And chickens, let me tell you something about turkeys and chickens. Buck had a 5,000-acre ranch in Bastrop and bought it back in the 30s. Back in the 30s, they had a woman that had a big turkey farm, and she would take her turkeys to all the ranches, and then the turkeys would eat all the grasshoppers and the army worms, and it was natural. What she'd come out there and turn all the turkeys loose, and they'd go and eat all the insects. So this is what they used to do instead of using pesticides, is they use the birds, and
the wildlife
the birds are what eat the bad insects.
The wildlife preserve that we have set up out here, where we have the shooting ranges out there with it, and we just are away from the animals. They have wild turkeys out there, and it's so funny because when we're out there and we're shooting, they'll actually come out and they'll stand there and stare at us and turn their head sideways, and the gunshots don't even bother them. They'll just sit there and look at us, and we're like, "Go on with yourself, stupid turkey." They look so dumb just standing there. Who has a question for Steve? Do you believe that the global elites are working with aliens in secret? Steve,
of course.
Woo has a question for you. Woo says, do you believe that the global elites are working with aliens
in secret?
In secret.
Absolutely,
yes.
I believe that. Yeah.
I think the bad ones. The bad ones. Yeah. Yep. Don't doubt it.
With multiple, not just one.
Yeah, not just one kind. Well, we have multiple bad ones in all forms. So, yeah.
I think it's, from what I heard, it was from as early as the 1940s, maybe
Let's
50s.
just say from the beginning of time.
Yeah, that's
yeah. Well, I'm just talking about like our current cycle here.
Yeah. We have a current cycle. Good Lord.
Yeah, we do a current timeline.
I'm telling you, I think Steve was right. This is really only 2012. I think that we're backwards. I think somebody threw us ahead of time somewhere and they weren't supposed to. So, you know what's good about that?
We've been hoodwinked.
Is I'm really not the age I am. Ha!
Oh, there you go.
None of us are. Steve, are you even legal?
Time doesn't exist. We don't acknowledge time. Yes. It's a figment of our imagination.
I'm 23 indefinitely.
Oh my goodness. I'm 35 indefinitely, so let's get this shit straight. Susie acts like she's 25 years old out there wrestling with horses and hogs and building houses, and look at her. Go Susie, go. Oh, she's gonna be really bad with some gold now. They are scum.
Yeah,
Did you guys catch that thing when Trump turned around and said the Green New scum, or the Green New fake deal?
The what?
What exactly? How did he say it? He was talking about the Green New Deal and he called it scum or scam. The Green New scam. That's what he said. The Green New scam. Yeah.
Okay.
He said, I'm stopping that. You can buy whatever car you want. You're going to have no electric car. Elon, you better build more rockets, dude. Your cars are going to take a downfall.
Oh.
Just saying. I don't know. I mean, some people, I don't mind, like, I've seen these little itty bitty electric cars that kind of look like golf carts with the whole car type thing. Now, I wouldn't mind that for myself because, well, I have one leg. I don't belong on the road in car anyways. Yeah, I could probably take a few things out driving with my left foot. Hybrids.
Hey, I love my robotic vacuum cleaner. I thank God for that.
Susie discovered the Roomba.
Yes.
Susie discovered a Roomba. Okay.
Thank you, Jesus.
I couldn't in my house because my dogs would try to attack it. My cat would flip out because when I plug in my vacuum and I try to vacuum, Tucker comes over and gets mad at the vacuum and bites at it and tries to grab it away from me. Putin was okay with it until Tucker started barking at it. And then
Huh? What? You went blank there for a second. What?
Well, yes, definitely yes. And and she is, but not completely. She is somebody that will probably shock the crap out of all of you. So, but in that aspect, she is, but it was in her family bloodline for a while. So, and yeah, that's where Baron gets his height. So
I was going to say the tall whites. Yep.
Yeah.
That's the ladies.
Norma. Ding 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 ding.
Ding ding ding.
Ding ding ding. Yeah. And that's what people don't know, where she came from. And well, that's where she came from. So
I've also heard of the blue avians. Those are also a race that we're in contact with.
Blue?
The blue avians. Blue avians.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, guys, there are a lot of things that I'm hoping that they just start opening things up. And it does honestly need to start with the JFK, RFK, and MLK's files. Because when those open up, you're going to see some different things with those that people would have never really known or imagined. And
I heard they were released today.
Well, they are releasing them, but somebody needs to take them, and I think Kash Patel is going to take them, and he's going to do like a thing and go over them and read them out to people. So, at least I hope so, because not everybody has access to websites to be able to pull them up. Believe it or not, I know we have the internet, but there are some people that just don't know how to do this. So, yeah, there's a lot of things. Oh, so much. Oh, so much. Different things.
It's very interesting, God Aliens.
Well, you know, they have been saying that this is a great time to be alive, and they're actually correct, because there's going to be some things that are going to come out that are just going to completely blow people's minds.
We all chose this time to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all experiencing this together.
Yeah. So, and now Norma, look at who you mentioned. Look at who you mentioned, and think about how mystical she looked also. So, yeah. And someday I want out of here. Norma says someday I want out of here.
Not right now. This is the most exciting time.
You may change your mind, Norma. If things happen the way they're supposed to happen, you may change your mind. You may say, "Oh, this is cool."
Dang it.
Dang it.
You know, there's a star
Let's,
cluster
let's
that's in
just
the
kick
sky.
out the bad. Let's just kick out the bad guys. You know.
There's a star cluster that's in the sky, Steve. What?
Yeah, apparently, I can't remember the name of it, but that's supposedly where we all originated from. Is this certain cluster of stars, and it looks like if you find it in the sky, it looks like there's a lot of depth and a lot of little dots of light, but it's like encompassed in almost just like a cluster. And yeah, I gotta look into that more.
I'm
But
afraid
that
of
would be something
heights.
I can take photographs of too.
I'm afraid of heights, though. I don't know how I would do like that. I'm terrified of heights.
Right. I don't like them. I don't like heights either.
Yeah, there's only
Just
three
lay on
things
the ground. Just
there's
lay on
only
the ground.
yeah, right? There's only three things I do not like. Well, that I have a phobia of. Okay. Heights, little people,
Little people like midgets.
and spiders.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Runs.
I am scared of little people. And
Yeah.
I used to think when I was younger that I was a horrible person until I found out that it was an actual phobia. And I told the lady, "Well, how did I get this phobia?" She goes, "I can't tell you that. That you have to figure it out." And then I thought about it, and I remembered my my middle brother was mean to me a lot when I was a kid. Used to chase me with knives, he was horrible. And the first time I punched him in his face, he went crying like a little sissy butt. But my mother had dressed him up as an Oompa Loompa one year and left him home with me. And he got a knife and he chased me around the house, and I locked myself in my room. And he took the knife and he was drilling a hole in my door with it. And
it gave you nightmares, did he?
Yeah, and I think that was what she told me, that's what it was. That's probably what brought me to that. And I'm good now because at least I say little people now. When I first got like this, I would never even refer to them as human. It was always it or that. So I at least know now that they're people. Okay, so I've gotten a little bit better, but I'm still afraid of them. I
little
took a
people.
bus. I took a bus ride one time from Washington State back here to Texas, and there was one on the bus, and he happened to have found a seat right across the aisle from me. And I'm texting my friend on the phone, "You better come and pick me up. I have to get off this bus. I cannot be on here. I've got to go." And he thought it was funny. He's laughing. So the bus, you know how the bus stops to how the bus stops to take a break or something. Boy, I didn't even hit the aisle. I am telling you, this woman crawled over every frickin' seat till I got to the last one, jumped over the pole, and took off down the stairs. So I'm behind the bus station. I'm smoking a cigarette, and I am just on the phone, and I'm having a fit. Okay. All of a sudden, I hear, "Excuse me, can I get one of those from you?" And I turned around, and there he was. And I opened up my bag and threw a pack of cigarettes at him and said, "Please leave me alone." And I ran away again. It was horrible. So yeah, I don't do very good with those. And spiders, I don't care how big or small it is, I'm gonna shoot that thing if it gets anywhere near me. I mean, I went in the kitchen the other day, a couple weeks ago, and I happened to, Putin was looking at something on the floor, and he was like trying to step towards it and backing up. And I was like, "What are you doing?" And out from underneath my chair, this wolf spider was so big. And it come running out from underneath my chair, and I froze. And I'm yelling, "Dad, bring me the fly swatter. Hurry up." He's like, what? I'm like, that, give it here. I couldn't believe I killed it myself. I was beating that thing and
Oh,
smacking.
jeez.
I must have hit it 100 times. There was nothing left of it. It was smooth in the fly swatter. Okay. I do, Norma. I need a bug zapper.
Bug
but
zapper.
But yeah, and scorpions I stay away from because I'm allergic to them. So I've been stung by them before. I'll tell you what's bad. In Arizona, we got these things called vinegaroos. And the front of them looks like a scorpion. The back of them is a big bulb. And if they pinch you, you taste vinegar in your mouth for like 2 weeks.
Dang.
And I got bit by one of those at work one night. I had stuck my hand in between these blankets to pull blankets out of the closet to go put on somebody's bed. And it was in between the blanket. And now they will sit on the wall and they pulsate up and down like they're going to jump. And they will chase you. They're aggressive. The scorpions, yeah, you don't corner them, but they'll walk away from you. But
yeah, the bad thing about scorpions is sometimes you'll find them in your shoes or your boots, man.
Yep. When I lived in Arizona, our shoes never went on the floor.
They like to get they'll get on the doorknob or I mean, we don't have them really up here where I live in Bastard Land. They're full of them.
We've got them here every once in a while. You see them here, but not.
Yeah, like your area has them.
When I was in Arizona, oh boy, they were all over the place. We never. Anytime we took our shoes off, they always went on.
Same with down there.
Never on the floor.
Well, in the hill country and around Austin, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, and even when we put our shoes on a rack, anytime we went to put them on, we would slap them and shake them.
They always check your shoes. Yeah.
Yeah, and then our beds, we would turn our beds completely down all the way to the bottom to make sure they weren't underneath the covers because scorpions like to get underneath covers. You had to make sure that your covers didn't touch the floor.
I had a hotel. Well, I had a resort property in East Texas, and we had these hotel rooms, and so I had a horse trainer and his wife staying in this one room, and they went to bed, and he woke up as a scorpion stung him on the ear, right in the bed. He jumped up out of bed and he smacked it, and it flew across. It got on his wife. It stung her. She knocked it. It flew back and stung him. I'm like, what the hell?
See, I'm bad with bees too.
Oh my God.
Bees. I give bees all the room in the world.
Because they stick to you. I mean, they got
Yep.
like, oh my God.
And one night I was in my car. One day I was driving in my car and I was on my way out to Waco. And it was hot. I was in uniform. I had a vest on. I should have waited till I got there to put my vest on. But oh no, I had to get all dressed. So I'm on my way and I had my window down because I needed the air. And this frickin' bee flew into the car. Here I am on the highway and I hit the shoulder and pulled over and I'm standing outside my car. Well, a highway patrol came by and stopped and said, you okay? I'm like, nope, there's a bee in my car and it will not get out. And I had all the doors open, all the windows open, waiting for this damn thing to fly out. I said, I am fixing to close everything up and set a can of OC in there, see if it'll kill it.
Right.
So he went in there and he grabbed his ticket book and he grabbed it and he shoot it and it went flying away. And I looked at him and I said, well, thank you. I said, I'm allergic to those things. I don't touch them. I don't go anywhere near him. I did, man. I hit the shoulder and I'm outside the car, just standing there, just watching this freaking bee in my back window going, what are you doing? Get out. I got to go to work.
I'll tell you, one time Joel was in the backyard playing and he picked up a brick and he turned it over and a scorpion stung him and he screamed, Mommy, I'm dying. Call the hospital. You're not dying, Joel. He goes, I'm dying.
I'll tell you, when I first moved to Arizona, I had a job working at Walmart. And I worked in the pet department because I didn't want to deal with people. So I'm in the back and I had climbed the pallets and I was taking 50-pound bags of dog food and chucking them down so I could load the spot, right? And I'm up there, and thank God that that day I wore I had my pair of blue stretch pants on, and I was chucking the bag, and I felt something on my leg, and I was like, "What the hell was that?" And I looked down, and I see it, and I swiped it off. Do you know, by the time I got down the pallets and through the doors and to somebody, the next register I could get to, I said 911, and I could not breathe.
Wow.
And so yeah, so I don't deal well with scorpions at all.
Yeah, that's not good at all.
So I give them room too and try to respect their distance. But if they're in my house, I will kill them. I don't care what I got to do to kill them. They're dead. Especially having Putin now, because Putin thinks that he is 10 foot tall and bulletproof. You know, he goes up against what he thinks is really big dogs. He will tackle animals. He tries to chase snakes. I mean, and he's so little. If he was a bigger dog, I'd be more power to you, dude, because bigger dogs can handle more things than a tiny little dog can. I'm like, do you not understand that a snake can wrap around you and swallow you at this point? And he just doesn't get it. He don't get it. He thinks he's a big boy, he thinks. He thinks he's a Rottweiler. But don't tell him, because he might get upset if you tell him, no, dude, you're a Chihuahua. Don't tell him. He thinks he's a Rottweiler. Yes, he does. So, but yes, we have brown recluses. Yep, we have those here too. Those, I don't really see a whole lot of them.
I have never had any encounters with them, but
yeah,
you know, and I've lived down here my whole life, pretty much, or most of my life. Yeah, since I was 20.
I've seen them. In the old place where I lived before we moved here, I seen one or two of them there, but we kill those right away. I don't even play with those. Those, you know. Now, daddy long legs, they can live in my house all day long because they'll eat stuff like that. So those I don't mind. Now, those spiders, they're cool.
Black widows, I don't like. Yeah.
Black widows, I don't do. Nope, those have to be killed too. And everybody says, well, wolf spiders are not poisonous to people. No, but I'll tell you what, they still do pack a damn bite that will really hurt. And I don't like those things. And they jump.
Pretty much all spiders can give you a bite, as far as I know. I mean,
well, yeah. Well,
I'm not really a spider person. I don't like spiders.
I don't
like scorpions either. I don't like snakes unless they're a black snake, because a black snake will eat all the venomous snakes.
Whose idea was it to create spiders?
Who do you think?
Satan.
The false god of this world. The false god. He's like, No, there's a story. There's this whole story about that Noah's Ark in one of before they condensed it down into the King James version. But the original story was that Noah had already taken off in the boat, and he said, no, you got to go back because you forgot the flies. And so he had to go back to get like a whole swarm of flies. He said, because I got to use them to spread disease in the future. And so that's why he was called Lord of the Flies, the god that told him to carry the flies with him, But that's actually written in some of those Hebrew books. Yeah, legends. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Because where do you see flies coming out of? Shit. Right? They come out of shit. And why do you think they come out of shit? Because they're worms, and animal are full of worms. So whenever they poop or shit, right? What comes out of it? What hatches out of the shit? Or when somebody dies, what comes out of them? Maggots. Because why? Because they were already in them.
Somebody just sent something that said that JFK recorded his UFO files were recorded. So apparently they have recordings of him talking about those. Ooh. Yeah, mosquitoes. I don't know who made those, because they're
You know what? God told me in a dream one time, mosquitoes are vampires. That's what he told me.
Yes, they are. They're
That's what he
and
said.
they love
They're
me.
vampires.
I'm on 2
What do they
blood
do?
sugars. They
They
smell me.
inject you with something, and they inject you with something, and then they suck out your blood.
Yeah.
Fucking vampire.
I don't like those either. Those are nasty. And they really look. I know that a lot of things on this earth have a reason to be here. You
No,
got
they don't. No, they don't.
Bees
I disagree. I agree to disagree.
I said a lot.
Some things need to leave the planet. They need to leave the planet. They need to put out their thumb and leave.
Mosquitoes.
Yes. Goodbye.
They need to come and suck
Goodbye,
mosquitoes up with a big vacuum cleaner and just let them off into space. They can go out.
There's a lot of insects that just need to go bye-bye. Yeah.
Yeah.
Termites, spiders,
Termites,
fire ants.
Fire ants.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, they can go find another hump to go live on and get out of here.
Yeah.
Fire ants are horrible.
Right.
Do you remember, Susie, do you remember when we went up there to go see you and we were looking at that house and what's the first thing Putin does? Walks right into an ant mole and stands on it. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. Fire ant hill, yeah.
Love bugs. Wow. That's something I haven't heard about in a long time. Wow. Yeah.
Or what about, they got those no-see-ums on the beach. Those things, you don't see them, but they sure do sting the hell out of you.
Yeah, I heard that. What they called them love bugs because supposedly they're bites when they
what gets me?
Kind of looks like lips or a kiss or something like that.
Them little things, some of them little insects are so ticks, fleas, fire ants. They're so little, but they're freaking deadly. Them things are like the enemy, man.
Ticks are another thing. They can go away too.
Yeah, blood-sucking ticks, man.
Fleas, ticks.
Yeah.
Why do we have all this stuff? Did somebody create
exactly? Because we have one of the gods called the Lord of the Flies or the insects, and he's torturing us. These things.
Now, I'm going to say this, and I know Susie's probably going to disagree, but I've had a couple of them that have hung around my house, and I love them.
What were they?
Praying mantis.
Oh, I praying mantises are cool. I always thought they were cool. Okay.
I had one that used to live in my garage, and I would take it. I would ball
kind of mean to each other, but they kind of.
The female eats the male, which you know what? Sure. Me being divorced 3 times, I can agree. I should have thought about that. Just chewed their damn heads off and tossed them away. But
yeah, sorry, I always thought praying mantises were kind of cool.
What's that?
Do you know that there are mantis people?
Yeah.
Well, yes.
That's right. Insectoid people.
And so I keep hamburger in my freezer just for that purpose, because when they start coming up, I'm just going to ball up hamburger like I did for the little guy in the garage and just throw it at him. They'll be so busy eating that I can get away.
Get away.
Right.
Giant mantis. Here, take that. Here.
That's right. So what do we do about the mantis people?
They're telepathic, and they constantly want you to call them mother.
Like ants. Yeah.
They want us to call them mother.
Yes.
Whatever.
Look at some of the stories about those things. It's kind of wild. Like they show up in people's rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't want me to call them mother because I'll be over there checking out their body.
I'll call them mother.
I don't see a vagina.
I'll call them mother. I'll call them mother effer.
Susie, they're going to eat your head, okay? You can't make them eat your head, Susie.
You mother effer. Get out of my room. Get behind me, Satan.
Yeah. What about the no-see-em?
That's what I said earlier. The no-see-ems are those little bugs on the beach. Oh, you can't see them, but they'll like start stinging you like a fire ant, They're in the sand.
Yeah.
They're painful little boogers.
I wouldn't know what to do.
Kind of like how people get what is it? What is it? Oh, chiggers Oh, you don't see them chiggers, but man, you break out and you're like getting attacked by them things, and they get
Those
up under your skin,
burns.
and you
Yep.
whelp all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah, those are bad. Yeah, what is it with all these little? Can they just go live somewhere else in their own little happy environment?
Yeah,
They're
they need to.
horrible, man. Those things are terrible.
Yeah.
I'm
Stuff was
thinking
that
that
was made to that was the opening Pandora's box there, Zeus did, okay? I think.
chiggers.
Yeah.
Chiggers are the Satan world of bugs. Okay.
They're terrible, man. Well, lice are pretty bad too, okay?
Yeah.
Lice, yeah.
I
Because
don't
some of
even.
these kids can't even get that stuff out of their head.
Yeah.
That's some bad stuff.
Yeah. That's those things are something
Yeah.
else. Those are a pain, and they're a pain
Yeah.
to get rid of. Especially if you're a little girl and you have really long hair. Oh,
Well, they make these little electric combs, and you can electrocute them. You go zzz, zzz, zzz. That's how you get them, the little MFs. Yeah, you electrocute their ass.
Your poor child would be sitting there smelling their hair, going, "What's burning?"
No, it only gets the lice when it gets in the comb. It zaps it. So you just comb your hair, and you're zapping and electrocuting them little mothers. Yeah, works good.
Oh no, Norma, that's horrible.
That's why you get the clear fingernail polish and you cover over the chigger bites, and then it suffocates. They can't breathe because they have to breathe. They dig a little tunnel in your skin, and then they live in there, and then they got to breathe. So you suffocate them with fingernail polish. Now, if you use colorful fingernail polish, you'll look like an Appaloosa,
Can you see that? Your kid goes to school the next day in shorts and his legs are covered in purple and red and pink.
Little dots all over. They were out of the clear fingernail polish. Thought we had.
Oh my God. Yeah, you can get them out there in the range. The wildlife preserve that we go to, they keep it, they go out there and they tear up the dirt and everything. They make sure that we don't grow any grass around where the range is out there. So, and a lot of times we take spray, which I don't like, but I'll usually wear real long pants and tuck them into my boots and do that stuff. That's the way I used to go to the range out there. I wasn't going to be getting bit. No. But look, guys, we are going to get out of here. We've been going for 3 hours. I was going to say bye an hour ago, and we just got to talking, and I forgot we were even still live. Everybody else went home.
Yeah. Oh, I had pinworms when I was a kid. Yeah.
It's so gross. Yeah.
They say we run around barefoot when you're a kid, and I had to go to the doctor and get dewormed. Yeah.
Itchy butt. Woo says itchy butt.
Yeah.
We'll be running around on the floor looking like our animals.
Yeah, because them things, you see them in your poop, man. When you're a kid, you're like, what is that?
Mom, I got bugs in my butt.
They used to run around barefoot in the puddles all the time in Ohio, and I ended up with pinworms.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
All right, my dears. Well, we will see y'all next weekend. Like I said,
that was TMI, too much information. Even my brain went, I don't want to remember that. I don't want to remember that.
We've spent the last hour just talking about crazy shit. Don't eat sushi.
Right? It's full of eggs, and they will hatch inside your little body. Monsters will come out.
It's just gross. I don't know. I think everything we eat's full of something. It's got to be everything.
Something.
I'm going to tell you what. I'm even halfway thinking about like the head of lettuce I have in my fridge and my tomatoes.
Well, you ever wonder why you bring certain fruit home and next thing you know, you got these little fruit flies all over your kitchen?
Yeah.
You know, and then
You
you
have to
think,
soak
am I
everything in
eating
vinegar.
that?
Yeah.
Am I eating that shit? And I'm like, am I going to be like having that in me? They're going to be hatching, you know, like, what is that? Like
Now,
I'm bringing the parasites into my body from the food I buy.
do you remember, Susie, I told you that I bought those avocados and I ate one. I was going to take the seed and put it in the water. And then when it grew the roots, plant it in a pot and take it to your house so we could grow an avocado tree. Do you know that for 4 months, I have had that avocado seed in water and kept filling it up and never even cracked open. So I threw it away because I'm like, nah, something's wrong here. There is no reason why that never even sprouted a root.
I've heard you got to do something to those seeds to get them to do that. Just you have to look.
You put them
Go
in
to
the
YouTube.
water with the toothpicks, and you only put them in the water so much.
Yeah.
And then it cracks open on the bottom, and I've done it before. And then it cracks open. On the
Maybe
bottom.
it was one of those Mexican cartel seeds where it was full of drugs. You got the wrong seed.
No, you would think if it was full of fentanyl, it would have sprouted all over the place.
It had crack in it.
It had crack in it. Oh my God. Man, oh man, I'm telling you.
We're just cracking up on here.
So I want to let you guys know, Woo, that next week, if that Susie G comes in our chat, if they get around my block again, because I blocked and reported again, and then hid them on the channel, so they're probably sitting here talking to themselves. Get rid of it because it happens to be that witch. So
it happens to be a bad coin.
Yeah, Denise probably fell asleep and wasn't here all night, so that person came in after Denise left. But I happened to notice, so I went over and turned our show on the other one so I could get into the chat that way, and I went in and blocked, hid, and reported. So, but we'll try to keep an eye on that Susie G, because they come in here and start saying all kinds of stupid crap, and I ain't dealing with her. So do you hear me, Penny Shepherd? Stay out of my chat. I don't care what name you use. We know our people that
you're not welcome here no more. Get behind me.
You ain't welcome here no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Somebody take us out with that. With that song. But all right, guys, we're going to let you go. So have a good rest of your weekend, and we will see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Have a good week.
Have a good night.
Yes, have a great, blessed, wonderful week.
Yes, please be kind to one another, and we'll see you around.
Goodbye for now, from Beyond the Box.
Please join us again for Beyond the Box, Friday and Saturday evenings, from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern. Join us for more intel bombs from our extraordinary guests.
Good night, Putin. Good night, Tucker.